it's just about what happens in the first 15 minutes, like Insania says. But if the game holds out for longer, I do favor Vici.
Well, we're going to be getting into that game very, very shortly. But before we do, it's time for the last word with BSJ.
Thank you, Frankie. I feel like when I was listening to that panel, all I heard was timing. So let's talk about the timings we should be expecting in this game. The thing that I look at for Vici Gaming is their core hero, the Tiny, buffed up by the Magnus on Old 11. He needs 2 items to feel really strong in this game. He needs the Silver Edge as well as the BKB. The Silver Edge to chew through the Bristleback, and the BKB to deal with the immense amount of control and magic damage from the Pugna Earthshaker as well as the Phoenix. However, on the side of Virtus Pro, the Bristle's only going to need 1 tankiness item to start going. The Earthshaker is only going to need a Blink, and we're going to need a BKB on the Razor coming on GPK. So there's going to be 1 item timing for the Virtus Pro, while it's going to take 2 items for Vici. So we're going to see if they can hit that window hard enough before the BKB Silver Edge shard on the Tiny and take momentum that way. And there's only one way to find out, and that's with OD Pixel and Fogged.
Thank you very much, Brian. Yes, Virtus Pro up against Vici Gaming in this best of 3. Fogged, what are you looking forward to seeing from these two here out on the main stage?
Just a clash of 2 styles, really. I think that's what most people were even looking at just coming into this game. Even before we even saw the drafts, I think most people were expecting Vici to do Vici things. Play a little bit more of that slow-paced style. Wait till they start hitting their big later game timings. VP, they have changed a lot. Sure, they're still all about that fast-paced kind of lineup, all about that aggression, but they've gotten a lot more like just stable in the way that they hit their big timings, and then boom, they're not going to look to make a mistake. They're going to look to be a very clean game and just close it out. And hey, look at the draft, right? We have Bristle, Razor cores. Yeah. That's all about looking to get an advantage and end at a relatively early time.
No, yes, and sort of specifically the Bristle and the Pugna. You know, these are very much heroes that we haven't really seen other teams play with that much. Whereas, you know, Vici Gaming, on the other hand, their whole lineup, you know, these heroes have sort of been played across the board. You know, Silencer sort of more recently started to move up in value. A lot of teams starting to look towards that. But everything else from Vici Gaming, it's just sort of top heroes of the meta.
Yeah, especially like the Magnus that they slipped in later on in the draft, which we saw, of course, last series. It went up to first pick. It became the most high priority pick. So, yeah, we'll see how that's going to end up playing out, and we'll see if they, like they mentioned about timings, if Silencer does start to fall off too, right? Because I know they have, like, Vici's late game is extremely strong, but we've seen time and time again, Silencers around that 35-minute mark, they start to struggle, so I'm really looking forward to this series. And let's see how these lanes do play out, because I've been seeing so many times GPK, especially on Razor, lane dominator.
Sure.
That's just what he's been known as forever, especially into these melee heroes. Sure, Void Spirit, you've got ways to play around it in the mid game especially, but lane is still going to be quite complicated.
Absolutely, yeah. GPK definitely having himself in a situation to make Ori's early game rather hard. We'll see how well Ori plays himself into it.
And let's see how the Phoenix does too, because they did pick it relatively early because of that Tiny. We know people have been talking about the matchup because of attack speed, slow, Sunray Egg. It's all pretty damn good versus Tiny. However, into Silencer, right? It does feel like the Silencer has a pretty good position in this game versus both the Phoenix and the Pugna. These are like anti-savers, globals that can't get the heals off to protect Nightfall in some situations. So yeah, this should be a lot of fun.
And for Nightfall as well, so the carry Bristle. How does that sort of fit into the meta that we're seeing? Like, is this sort of a concept that you feel VP could really show us the strengths of, you know, against the types of Dota that we've been seeing teams play, or at least most of the teams play?
They're one of the only, if not the only teams playing it. So that is a great question. I mean, just something that they really like to play. Nightfall might just feel very comfortable on it with the team. It's a curious one to me, because I'm not too sure why they are liking it so much. I mean, sure, they've been dominant on it, but then why is nobody else doing the same kind of strategy? So, and I mean, it's also Silencer, right? So,
but that's the thing. He's going to have something to his spell, right? Otherwise, these fights, surely the damage, the duration, it adds up. It's not going to be fun spamming your spells when you've been arcane cursed.
No, definitely not. They have 2 Lotus Orb buyers, at least 3 Lotus Orb buyers on their team, maybe even more than that. They could even prioritize one on the Razor, even the Bristle himself. So we'll probably see 2, 3 Lotus Orbs coming out, because Phoenix is going to want one, Pugna's going to want one, Bristle's probably wants one. So we'll see that in time. And yeah, I'm really just going to be glancing at mid to see if. Ori is one of the big playmakers for me, for Vici, and when he starts to have a bit of a rough game at times, I feel like their game gets even slower than it usually is. They are more of a slow team, and looking at the lane already, 10-6 on the Razor,
GPK.
3-1.
As we said on paper, it's a tough matchup, and GPK, he is completely abusing that. 11 for 7 against the 3-4-1. Top lane DY. Is he going to tick out here? He's going to burn pretty low, but not quite enough. Salves at the ready. He'll be able to keep himself in the fact, Kingslayer. He's going to get chased down by Old 11 again, though not quite enough damage. As both team supports will stay in the lane and alive.
Was that Fairy Fire making them both survive? I'm pretty sure it was. I think the Silencer used one earlier, and then the Phoenix had two, so he used one when he was getting gone on. So Fairy Fire saved lives.
Now he's looking down bottom at the moment for both cores. DM, 12 for 1 here. On the off lane, Poyoyo, 14, 15 for 1. So both cores trading farm quite nicely down here. Side lanes, both supports trying to play around here. Save comes over around the attempt pull. Needs to set up around the camp. Top lane, Old 11, he's going to get the skewer back.
Okay.
Pretty deep, at least get a tower hit or two, and then he does. Nightfall getting a little too close to that dangerous area where Old 11's able to pull him in and set him up underneath the tower for that extra damage.
That's why we're seeing the Magnus picked so much, really. Just so powerful in any lane.
You got to be careful.
Yep. That's always something scary for Bristleback too, even like, let's say in the later stages of the game too. Bristol is a tanky hero, but sometimes you feel a little bit deceptive because you feel so tanky, but let's say you get completely pulled out of position. It's gonna change the way that your saves are looking to play, because then the Pugna has to get out of position, the Phoenix as well to try to protect you. So yeah, could see a lot of those skewers really injure the Bristle a lot.
Absolutely, yeah. Nightfall's got to be careful on these early levels. Playing anywhere near to the tower there, as Old 11 will be very quick to take advantage of that.
DY will help out mid. Ori gonna check the rune for him and also fill up his bottle. His body as well.
Mid lane, he's starting to catch up now, Ori.
Yeah.
It's sort of this sort of pace now where GPK has been sort of visiting the jungle a little bit, looking towards neutrals as well. It's giving Ori a bit more of a chance to close that gap here.
It's just still such a challenge. He can't even walk out. Yeah, the poor guy. Ori's just like, all right, well, I just have to tank this, you know. I'm getting my levels, and that's kind of the most important thing he has to do at this point. Rest of the lanes are going well, as we mentioned for Vici.
Poyoyo feeling rather confident down here. DM on his own doesn't really pose too much of a threat against the Tiny, especially with the support sort of beginning to drift away from that bottom lane.
PYW though is eating quite a lot of harassment.
Same if he gets another blast in, it's going to be close, but PYW just enough HP to get out of harm's way. Top lane, Old 11 trying to get it onto Kingslayer, not going to be the case, and it's getting to the stage now where this top lane, now the levels are in, level 4 on Nightfall, they've got to be very careful about how they extend him for Kingslayer, as Nightfall will be able to turn around any drawn-out engagement between the two lanes here.
Yep. A little bit of a mistake there from DY, not layering the curse in the last word properly though, so you can get that extra damage. Did mess it up a bit there on Kingslayer. Supports. Looking to check runes a bit more here. Save even looking to play around mid. Guess feeling that he doesn't need to help DM too much in the bottom lane since we are seeing so many support rotations. PYW hasn't really been playing the lane too much. And speaking of PYW, we didn't really touch too much on the Snapfire this game. Of course, a super popular hero that's been getting picked up more and more, but also a lot of uses in this game. Little Shredder can always be pretty decent versus Bristleback, of course. You know, a little bit of extra minus armor when he's lacking in the early game, but of course, versus Phoenix and versus Pugna, it's going to be quite useful. The Little Shredder versus the Pugna Ward versus the Egg, but also even just Mortimer Kisses versus a hero that does get decrepified in later stages. So PYW should have a pretty good overall game if he's able to actually position himself properly.
Absolutely, we're going to have to see some very careful placements here of both of those spells to,
for sure,
to sort of force Vici Gaming to spend time finding them and getting that set up indeed for the Snapfire.
Or he's completely caught up. He's actually only 50 gold behind the Razor.
And this is pretty impressive. What's the XP looking like, though, between them? Was halfway through level 6 on Ori, and then GPK still about a level ahead. So he's picking it up, but as you say, the recovery, it has been there for Ori after a very tough first few waves in the matchup. You know, this is quite clearly something that he's had to deal with quite a lot of times before. The man's got quite a few games on the Void Spirit. He's almost certainly bumped into Razor, quite a large number of them.
GPK is looking to make that first move bottom. Haste Rune.
Oh, here we go. See if he's able to get the chase down onto Poyoyo. How will Vici Gaming react? Poyo turn with a quick avalanche, trying to hold GPK back, but GPK is able to maintain the connection of the static link. He's into the trees though, Poyo, and it's pretty deep, but GPK's got the damage. The maxed out plasma field's able to reach in, burst him down. A successful rotation here for the Razor.
And successful rotation from the supports earlier from VP to secure that haste rune for GPK. Ori did not choose to even make the counter move though, since it is a hasted Razor. He's just like, whatever, I need to catch up my game. Razor's going to look to gank on the side lanes. He's going to get some big benefit from it, but
yeah,
I'm catching back up. I'm hitting mid tower a little bit too. So.
No, for sure. I looked at the time as well. I'm not quite sure what he used it for earlier, but both of his Astral Steps were on cooldown.
Okay, so just maybe pushing lanes.
Yeah.
Or farming some stack or something.
I think so, yeah. Which did mean he wasn't quite in the shape that maybe could have turned up to that bottom lane.
And we are seeing, like Insania mentioned, it's dire. Stacks, stacks, stacks. Kingslayer is already starting the triangle. This, not the usual triangle, but it is warded. So Vici is going to be aware. They are...
And
they know what's happening.
I mean, with Empower and Astral Step, they could take these pretty quickly. Ori's in.
Super quick. He's DD room as well.
Yeah, this is, well, there we have it. I think pretty much every creep won't go to Kingslayer. Ori will die for it.
Okay.
I mean, this may be worth though. That's a lot of effective golden XP that you do take away from VP there with that move. I mean, sure, you die at the end of it all, but that was at least a triple stack you're taking out of the hands of Nightfall.
Yeah, it's a trade.
It's a trade.
The thing is, the Razor they get a big chunk of experience on the support and the Razor, and then he's off the map now for quite some time, so they can split up. So
okay. So you think that VP don't? They're like,
I don't think
whatever.
VP's like whatever. Like, we got the kill. Bristleback still able to get some of these stacks anyway.
GPK is already on his way down bottom again. Maybe seeing if DM can find the setup. And they're going to set up with the slam. TPs are coming in, but GPK, he's just going right in underneath the tower. He's going to miss the blast here. GPK just standing tall on top of Poyoyo. Poyoyo will fall. PYW, he's going to be in trouble as well. Finally, the fissure ends, so he tries to get out of there, but the damage has been done. GPK, again with these movements down bottom, making big plays. Now the counterplay comes in. Ori jumps over towards GPK. They'll take out the Razor. He's got his eyes set now onto the Shaker as well. An attempted TP out will be successful. DM makes it back to base.
Is just a number.
Crisp rotations coming all around. 2 to 4. Poyoyo is definitely struggling. But Ori does make the nice rotation, especially with DY rotating around. He did not have the point in glaives yet, so no int. But we are seeing these constant moves around the map, looking like both teams looking to get support levels, especially VP. They actually have the Pugna sitting mid for quite some time and the Phoenix up top, so their support should be a bit better off on those levels, since we did see, of course, PYW die down bottom. But it is very close on levels.
That is. That's some good Dota here so far from both squads.
Yeah, quite even, really. DM's gone for a bit of a different approach in the offlane that I've seen from lately. I've seen most of the time it's just like the 1 or 2 max points in Fissure, and then when they're offlane, they've been putting more points in the Enchant Totem and Aftershock. 3 points is the key, of course, for that Aftershock, so you can get the good combo play with your Echo Slam. But yeah, opting for more points in Fissure, I guess, because his supports have no stuns.
I think that's what it is, right?
I think that just has to be what it is. So
he needs to have that long lockdown.
Yep. That definitely makes sense as to why he's done it. And he's going to have a pretty good timing on that Blink Dagger. And, you know, we talk about VP speed and aggression. Again, looking to make the move bottom, GPK, as well as save.
There they are once again.
They're spotted.
Same time top lane. Kingslayer's going to get gone upon. Vici are able to get the kill up top. DY's going for the TP out. He's able to make it away from them. So they won't find anything down here this time round with the movement, but they can look to put some pressure onto the tower. Fortification's already been used. They're pushing in with the catapult wave. VP, they should be able to get this tier 1 away, but at the same time, Vici, they've already got the top tier 1 tower, so able to make that move and push happen a little bit quicker than VP is themselves.
Both teams mirroring each other's movements quite identically, honestly. The Tiny was farming Ancients while Bristleback went to go farm Ancients too. It's very similar stuff coming out. We just do see Vici, I think, that has a little bit better information. They also blocked out Ancients.
See Ori. He's trying to get out to GPK. They're actually committing with the kisses as well.
A lot of damage.
With the silence coming out, GPK, is he actually able to escape from this? Only just.
Is he?
GPK will get out. They'll heal him up a bit as well. Save here with the drain to keep his HP topped up. PYW is still hunting in the trees. Actually found DM. DM rather low here, but still they're backing away from it. They're aware, you know, Echo Slam is up. They don't want to fight right underneath the nose of the Earthshaker.
Yeah, quite a bit of ults. Egg also available, and we do see save. This is why they picked that Pugna, to keep their cores healthy, to keep them on the map. GPK, in normal situations, he would have had to gone back to base. But look, Pugna just full healed him up. He can actually keep his presence on the map, keep pressuring this tower that they weren't able to get before.
Of course, all this pressure is completely taking any attention away from the Bristleback. Nightfall having the whole jungle to himself halfway through on the Aghanims. For Poyoyo, also, things looking very nice in the farm department. Pretty much even there on both carries right now in terms of what they're getting out of the map. As this game, 12 minutes in, continues to be incredibly close here. Both teams, after pretty much identical start.
I think Vici has to be pretty happy with this, with the way that their lineup does scale with like that Magnus, with that Tiny to later stages. I think after this, yeah, they have to be quite happy. VP, I do believe they want to set that pace, but they're going to wait for that timing. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the BKB Razor, the Ags on that Bristleback, and then they're going to look to hit real hard. But they're not slowing down yet still anyway, because they do have a blink on Shaker. Still looking to be active, still looking to claim a bit more tower advantage, because like I said, I don't think that they're happy with the state of the game right now. I think they wanted to get a little bit more out of the laning phase.
So we're definitely feeling it with the frequency that GPK is just over here on this bottom half of the map.
Well, I mean, he's just, with what you're playing against versus this Magnus and everything, he has to. We're a Razor, you know, you don't want to start to fall behind at all as this hero, you always want to stay ahead in that net worth.
Will start to show himself mid, and it does seem Vici Gaming doing a good job of avoiding getting caught by the jump from DM.
And they're continuing to farm like really well. Even PYW seem like just jungling as the Snapfire. He's already got his medallion. Yeah, both sides, like I said, getting quite a lot out of the map.
Old 11, progress for him, 1500 on towards his blink.
Yep.
The next big timing for him, and it will make things a little more hard for sort of VP. You know, when you look at their three cores, all wanting to get in the front of the fight. If they're not aware of Old 11's positioning, there's a high chance he will be able to come in with some big RP counterplays in these team fights. And
they have global too, so they can pick and choose their battles really nicely. They can also look to disengage if they see a bad fight, or they can just stop egg. That's always going to be one big thing that they see. You know, you see the Phoenix diving in, you can just get these eggs off most of the time. And with the new Yules picked up on Ori, as well as an Arcane Rune, they're going to look to get active. Seeing this Pugna pushing down the bottom lane.
They might actually get the jump on DM here. DM, he's not going to expect them coming in from this angle. The Remnant's actually off the mark though. DM, he knows with the Remnant missing, he's going to try for the TP out, but PYW is there to turn up and put a stop to the escape with the cookie. See them try and go for Old 11 top. He's got a TP, anything to stop it? No, there is not. Old 11 makes it out.
If there's no Shaker there, I think Vici's going to start recognizing. No stuns on VP if he's not, so just can quickly TP out in most situations.
And as we saw, same not to be said for VP, trying to get out there after a missed Remnant, but Vici Gaming, they've got many more ways to put a stop to those kind of escapes.
Yeah, they even had the Yules in case of anything if PYW wasn't there, so definitely lots of different ways to set up. And still looking to get aggressive, checking out the Ancients. Now finally getting a small gold lead on the side of Vici because of the way they've been able to move around. But 200 gold. And that's when I'd imagine we see a huge increase in pace from VP. They've been still trying to make these, you know, 2-man plays, 3-man plays perhaps around the map, but yeah, BKB and Aghanims is going to come out, and I assume they just either look for a fight or just walk into the pit and force some action from Vici.
Oh, you think they might go straight for the Roche before one of the extra tier 1 towers? Now, like, bottom? They're going to jump in, but the global is going to break the combo completely. And now Ori, he's just going to go jump back over towards Save, cut down the Pugna. And yeah, well, this is going to be hard to make moves. Anytime the global's up, you know DY, he'll be ready to respond in an instant with the global silence.
That's always the scary thing about like making moves. That's why I thought perhaps, you know, maybe they force some type of ultimate, some type of weird fight, and then they go straight for that Roshan, and the timing's there. So Nightfall's got it.
He's going to look to get the jump in onto DY, and DY, he has been caught a little too close to the rest of them. Not quite able to back up in time with the rest of the team. DY getting caught out a little bit there as he, I guess just wasn't quite prepared for VP to come straight back on the map and come down there. Now it's that kill onto Save. Mid lane, Nightfall starting to show himself now on the other side of the map. He's ready to turn up and go, as you say, with the Aghanims complete. See what sort of moves VP can make around them. They don't have the Echo Slam, but they do still have the Supernova.
Something I think, oh, wait a second here, as 11 will get away, but something that I think that they might have to also watch out for is Aether Remnant turns Bristleback around. So they can actually make him face their team. Whenever they do get their timing as well with the Tiny when he feels like he can fight, he's getting closer and closer towards Silver Edge. There's going to be quite a lot of ways for them to perhaps deal with the Bristleback.
No, for sure, yeah. If he gets turned into a full combo from the Tiny from Poyoyo, it's going to hurt still.
Yeah. Vici really looking to set this defense around this mid tower.
And she's going to go straight to work him with the kisses. As the dive comes
he's
out,
last
but
worded.
he is, oh, maybe with the heals should save. No, it's not enough. The damage is done. Kingslayer to fall as they try and fight, but this nice ward here from Vici Gaming, giving them this great vision to stop VP from trying to make these moves. They know that VP, with the way they've been playing on the bottom half of the map, they're going to try and come and approach the mid lane from this angle. Their vision is there ready to prepare for that exactly.
And they went the Veil as well early on. DY gets it at as a 5 position. That's a very good timing for his Veil. He has good damage, and as we see there, this is one of the reasons why Silencer has always been sought after versus Phoenix. Most of the time, you're still not going to click the dive, but he did click the dive, so you come right back. The last word, it will always bring you back to that position, of course. 2K lead. And that was, as we mentioned, a bit of VP's timing. Now they have the BKB finished on the Razor, so they smoke up again, still looking for that fight. Echo up in 10.
Yep.
They really want to persist for this
they
tower.
have to, as you say. If they're not making the hits now,
Yeah.
Vici Gaming are likely to run away with this match as the minutes pass.
Absolutely.
VP's got to get something done right now. See what they can get around the mid. Again, they're trying to look at the board play a bit split up, really. Kingslayer and Nightfall, they've gone to find the mid. The egg is going to be taken down. Nightfall's over POW. This is a completely split up play. The rest of VP, they're trying to get it onto POW. They will get the kill on the Tiny. Nightfall, he has been left to fend on himself, and it's okay. He's still very much big enough and tanky enough that Vici Gaming couldn't really deal with him. So a split up fight there that VP forced, but it ends up working out. They get the tower, and they are able to take down Poyo-Yo, whilst the rest of Vici Gaming's trying to deal with the 2 members of VP.
Nightfall. He's got a lot of Arcane Curse stacked up on him.
So with a jump forward, old 11. Quick skewer back and a jump over with the Astral Step. Nightfall will pop.
I'm surprised he just walked in like that. He kept spamming his quills as well, too. With the Arcane Curse, he gets the last word put on him, the Veil. It's a lot of damage. It does start to build up until you do get ways to dispel it.
And how close are they to any of those? Are we seeing anything come soon?
Not really, no. They're very far away.
That's true.
Your anger is useless.
He's going to go for his own BKB instead, so his teammates will have to get that Lotus Hook to protect him, but Vici's got to be real happy with the pace of the game. Even though they did lose their Tiny a few times, like Ori's almost got an Aghanim stun on Void Spirit.
No, for sure.
Now it's more silences to deal with inside the fights too, as TM.
They're going to use the global. In fact, Ori's going to look to use that coverage of the global to turn things around onto DM.
Oh boy.
Very nicely done here by Vici Gaming, and it really was, as you say, they lose Tiny, but the fact that they do end up getting Nightfall at the end of it all pretty much makes that whole move for VP completely redundant. As Vici Gaming just continuing to grow this lead, and VP, it really does seem like they are going to just have to continue to try and fight, but every little mistake and misplay, it just means that the preceding fight is going to be so much harder. It's just not getting any easier against Vici Gaming, and the only way they can come back in is by looking to turn up for the brawl.
Yeah, they already have Silver Edge done. The Tiny's online pretty much. He's got the 2 items done. VP, they did hit that 1 item timing that BSJ was mentioning on the panel there, but I think Vici's so happy with this game. Aghanims is done for Ori. They've got Silver Edge on Tiny. He's going to be able to buy shards soon. Everyone is pretty damn online. I think VP's in some trouble unless they start making some big plays happening soon.
They've got to have a big move come out next. Here we have it. Smoke up. How long until the Echo Slam? Not quite up yet.
2 seconds.
2 seconds.
It is a level 1 Echo, and he's about to hit 12. So usually you want to wait for that 12 because you get that 20 seconds removed and quite a bit more damage, but I don't think he can wait for it.
There's no global for a minute. So that's something. They're going to jump DY. In fact, just dropping the Echo on him. Get rid of that pesky silencer.
Okay. So is that like them trying to get an option open for
Rush? If Nightfall's ready to go for it.
The Kisses are down 2 for 30. They want another kill before they try for it.
It looks like they do. DM. Looking for the lead in, but Vici Gaming are careful. Play it right back in fact. Now old 11, he's ready to step up. RP is online again.
They've got the Silver Edge. Nightfall.
They're in. DM is going to try and lead him, but immediately getting caught out by the silence. Jump over to the side. Ori looking to take down DM, and with the help of old 11 and his skewer, they should be able to do so. DM ripped into position as they take him out. That's DM gone. DY back in the game now. VP having to fight 4v5 if they want to keep this going. Nightfall and GPK, they're thinking about returning to the action. They're back in. They're on top of DY. DY has been caught on the front, but the Yules will hold him back. Jump forward. Old 11. RP gets him right underneath the tower. Catches GPK. Raising a ball.
And might even get more. They turn him around with the Remnant.
They get the grab. There's the Silver Edge hit. Toss up Poyo-Yo. The damage not quite enough immediately, but Nightfall, he's falling ever so low. Save will be able to top him off slightly, but it's just the three of them, Kingslayer, Save, and Nightfall, having to go on the retreat right now.
Oh, VP is struggling. They can't get the catches they want. They can't go for the plays either because they only have one stun. They only have, well, one stun from the Shaker. He's the only one who's really got the actual disables. They catch the Tiny on the left side of the fight. He's linked up. He just TPs and resets the fight, comes back in afterwards. VP tries to catch up to the rest of the team. A Global comes out. It's really hard for them to get into these fights successfully, especially if they don't have the Echo Slam. DM, I think, has to be a little more patient. I don't think he can waste an Echo on a Silencer in these situations, especially not the 5.
I think he just feels that he has to, as you say, because of the fact there's nothing really else to initiate with. It's hard.
Sure is. And like we mentioned, the game for the supports, it's all about those Lotus Orbs versus the Global, but as we mentioned, Ori having such a good game, they've got so many different forms of silence now. He's got the double pulse as well that he can play around with the Globals post after they use the Lotus Orb on themselves. Still only a 4K lead, but VP, you can feel that they definitely wanted to be in a better position now. But with these ultis on cooldown, walking into the pit.
I mean, they're looking at the Roche. They're going to try and give it a shot here.
Should kill it fast. And without Kisses are down for 15.
Yeah, Vici Gaming's a little split up. Jump forward, DY, he's going to actually get caught. This is the perfect way to start the fight. Silencer is out of action.
It's a big grab. They're still smoked, waiting for an opportunity.
They still want to try and make the steal here, Vici Gaming.
Kisses in 2.
They're going to try for it, surely. As there's the buyback, jump forward for Ori, the Supernova coming out from the side. Roshan, it will die to VP and Aegis into the hands of Nightfall. At the same time, they get on the hideout, 5 POW. Ori, he's trapped in the river. He's going to use himself up for now. By time to get the Dissimulate off, can he jump to safety? He can. We'll get over to the side for Save. He's there with the Decrepify. They run down the Void Spirit. Ori, he will fall. 3 dead. Oh, Vici Gaming Poyo will manage to TP out. But VP, they come back with a mighty punch in this game, getting the Roche, Aegis secured, and now Vici, they're having to run. DY brought back for this, they'll be able to kill him off again, as VP have managed to battle themselves back into the game.
Exactly what they needed too. As soon as they saw that even the Silencer buyback, they just popped their ults. I saw even the Phoenix, Kingslayer just instantly pops Egg, even though it's in an awkward pit, it's just to secure the Roshan, and DM, very nice Fissure. The Echo Slam as well, catches the Snapfire, Fissure blocks off Ori, causes disarray amongst Vici. Very nice to get an executed fight, which they needed to get themselves back into a comfortable position in this game.
Absolutely, as you say, DM definitely putting in the heavy work here. And this is the thing, you know, he said, well, we don't need any more stuns. I'm going to get everything done myself. And when he's making moves like this, even managed to block off the more elusive heroes for the most part, like the Void Spirit. And maybe things are in safe hands here for VP around DM's Shaker.
And now they're starting to get these Lotus Orbs up. Kingslayer's got his finished, and I think that's probably the only one, actually. They're going to have a BKB for the Bristleback to cover himself versus the Arcane Curse, too. So Silencer's effectiveness will definitely start to dwindle.
VP. We want to keep the action going. Nightfall ready to lead the charge down the mid. Quick poke of the mid lane.
With BKB, he's quite unkillable.
Yeah,
unless
now
he
he's
gets
good
pulled,
to go.
Unless he gets pulled very far out of position, even then,
He
quite
can
difficult.
battle his way out.
Yeah,
he
can
can put
keep
that
just hitting.
BKB charge back to safety. He'll make it.
And without Global, they can't stop the heals. Of course, that's going to be coming out from that Max Sunray as well as the life drain from Save.
Vici Gaming trying to set up here. Hold 11. Poyo around DY. They're using DY as the bait. They know that VP are going to want to go for him, and they are. Nightfall straight in onto the silencer. DY pretty much dying in a few hits. BKB popped by Nightfall. There's no jump they can make back onto this Bristle as VP get in at a swift execution right underneath the tier 2 tower that Vici Gaming as a team can't do anything to stop.
Poyo had just used the Silver Edge hit too on a creep right in front of him too. So as soon as they saw that, Bristol's like, okay, I have a free run across. He had to pop the BKB just in case, but does get a kill. Let's see if Vici looks to make any type of move while that is down. They're picking up top, but that's GPK. So maybe expecting them to make a move onto him. And VP all just swinging together. Again, another smoke.
A little bit of a window here. 10 seconds, no silence. So when DY's back up there, the Global will be ready to go.
Scan is right on top of Poyoyo.
They know where they are. On the low ground now, coming in from the river with the jump onto the high ground. The Global Silence comes down to immediately in response. Supernova's out, they'll look to take it down. PYW is able to get the hits in. They bring down the egg. DM lays down the Fisher, getting the angle onto both PYW and Old 11. PYW taken out for the low ground. GPK gets the kill.
Holy damage.
Moving up to the high ground is a little risky now. They get the grab. RP for Old 11 drags back GPK. GPK will go for the BKB, try and get away from this. He's got decent movement speed, but Ori jumps in, or Astral Step blocks him off. 4 dead on VP, as they knew where Vici Gaming were. They hit the scan, they were charging up the river, but they ended up in this position where Vici Gaming, they sort of surrounded them from the high ground points, and it was a very hard fight for VP to take when they're in that sort of very confined area between the Roche Pit and the Triangle.
And the team can't get to where DM actually blinks onto high ground, Echo slams the Magnus, but his team had just got hit by like an 1100 crit from the Tiny, also Avalanche combo, and they were stuck in the river. They couldn't get to where the Earthshaker was. Very split up fight for VP. Huge advantage for Vici off of that one. Also, I've been watching this. They're keeping the Alpha Wolf with the Tiny the entire time this game.
I like it.
They've had the dominated Alpha Wolf just sticking with them. So look at his damage.
Oh.
I mean, plus 362. Those are without, that's like 760 damage without a crit from the Silver Edge.
Absolutely. DD has here on Nightfall the rest move. They have got vision on this Tiny. Nightfall. See if he can chase down Poyoyo.
He's holding BKB.
He is. He's still got ways to get out of there. Cookie as well. Jumps him back to safety. They keep it cool. Vici Gaming. Or he's actually looking for the wraparound on the back lines. Jumps in straight away on to save. The kiss is coming out from the high ground. That's one down.
Goodness.
The break hit. He immediately has to put the BKB and run. Nightfall's got to get out of there. DM's going to go down. Nightfall will manage to TP out. But another fight where VP are just a little unprepared there. Ori this time coming in from the river. They weren't ready for him to catch them on the retreat and just kick off that fight as aggressively as Vici Gaming were able to do so.
And the damage from Poyoyo, he 2/3 of the HP from the Bristleback, just from one swing, but the Echo Saber crit, of course, from the Silver Edge.
That's so much.
That is problematic, as we said, for VP.
7K lead now, back for Vici Gaming. That
And
sort
look-
of old Roshan escapade that the VP were able to hit back with. Nothing more than a distant memory here in this game, as Vici Gaming back with full control.
And look, the Alpha Wolf again, it's just sticking with Poyoyo. Empower plus Alpha Wolf looks pretty balanced on Tiny. Look at this. He almost two-shotted a Bristleback.
Yeah.
That was without the Alpha Wolf, where two is still up top.
I mean, what do you do? What do you do against it?
He's definitely going to need some armor on the Bristle, because right now I still only see him with like 14. So I think he's got to get a little bit more to counteract some of that damage. He is just going straight for S and Y for the time being, but really needs that plate mail soon.
Bottom lane, Vici Gaming ready to start pushing in themselves. They know their strength right now. Quick poke at the tower and then a backup and smoke. See if they can catch VP whilst they're split up across the map again.
They got global again. Every single time that they've had global, or almost every time they've had global, the fight has gone successful in their favor. Poyoyo leading the charge.
Oh, it's gonna hurt.
Oh yeah,
they're in the RP, and there's the damage follow-up.
They're just gone.
A few swipes, and VP4, Global comes out, skew over from on level 1,293 damage crit there. GPK, the only one making it out. But my goodness, they get the setup here and allow Tiny to just follow it up. Poyoyo, he is just, they're just crumbling in the palm of his hand here, VP.
This is just so much damage that he does end up getting from all this. And that was the Bristle, by the way. Two-shotted, or three-shotted by the Cleave. And the Global again to cover, perfectly coming out from DY, so there's not even any follow-up that VP can go for. 12K lead now for Vici. Having a firm grasp of this game.
How do they stop this Tiny?
Look at this again. Just a perfect one. Beautiful RP, no hesitation from 11. They're just dead.
I mean, yeah,
they're dead in the RP.
2 hits, one hit's half the HP, really. It really is. And running, that's not an option either. These trees just come in, tossed at you from a mile off, and the damage is done. That splash will just decimate anyone caught in the area.
And it's surprising that Poyoyo can just walk up like that and just find the opportunity. VP not prepared with an Obs and Sentry Ward or anything like that. Have lost full control of the game with their early game draft.
And they had that chance to regain things around that Roshan and Aegis pickup.
They're going to have to try to get it again. That's the one thing. It's like VP, they have to try to get some type of successful fight while Global is down. They have 20 seconds to try to find it, and hope to God for them that they find a Roshan afterwards. They have 1 minute and 50 seconds until it does respawn, and there's already a Dominator creep waiting in the pit for Vici. Vici's already knows, too. They're backing up quickly. DY in a super defensive position. 11
jump.
now.
Straight in Echo. Old 11, he's going to be the one to be caught. Has got buyback available, though, if he feels necessary.
Poyoyo's thinking about GPK in the bottom
I mean,
lane.
Ori as well. Look, again, coming in from this angle, always sort of keeping VP sandwiched between the rest of his team and himself.
GPK.
Be able to back up to the safety of his teammates, or at least the relative safety.
He's got to bail out. Only 700 HP, has to get healed up. Global back online. 50 seconds, though, for Magnus, and as we said, still 70 seconds on that Roshan. Again, Alpha Wolf will go back to check the pit. And a DD rune is inside of Ori's bottle.
VP trying to get control of this area. It's not going to be easy. And as it looks, they're not going to have to use the buyback here on Old 11. He will be back up in time. 40 seconds still, so get an update on that Roshan.
I actually like that Kingslayer went for he picked it up about like 2 minutes ago, but picked up a pretty early gem. I think they're starting to feel the game's getting a little out of control. They have to know exactly where the Tiny is in all situations. They have to know when there's any vision on them, because if VP doesn't start the fight with Bristleback charging in, Razor linking, and it's actually Vici who starts it, I think the fights are just going to easily be Vici's every single time. So they have to have a good vision, good control of vision in this game to be able to get those initial jumps.
I think the discussions being had between VP on when and what they want to do with the next move.
Yeah.
They're running out of plans here. It's not an easy game to swing back.
Everything's up for Vici. Vici wants to take the fight now themselves. There's no Echo Slam on DM for some time. They should know that.
I mean, and if they do look to try and take a team fight VP, they know that they don't find DY. DY really will turn it all around with the press of a button.
And, I mean, the Tiny's just going to two-shot people, and he's just so farmed at this point. He's almost 2 items ahead of the next person. They have full Satanic as Hypersonic. They're just taking the Roche themselves.
I mean, VP's not going to be able to do anything about that.
It's already
They're
dead.
not going to be able to do anything about that. Roshan will fall in a matter of seconds here to Vici Gaming.
And Old 11, who has not purchased a shard, even though we saw it prioritized so much in the first series of the day, how good this Magnus shard was, he didn't buy it, and now he's got one given to him for free after he picks up his own individual items with the Aether Lens, the Blink, the BKB. So even more of a threat, really, for the Bristleback, just this instant catch into Skewnerming out of position. VP has to be so cautious in these next few moments.
I mean, is there any sort of chance for VP's lineup from a high ground perspective, as it seems like anything out on the map is at this stage is almost becoming impossible?
It's starting to feel not like there's not really too much of an answer. It has to be some unbelievable positioning, really, from the Phoenix and the Pugna, and just like Razor has to have some full link. This Razor and Bristle need to have some insane start to the fight.
Oh,
that's Poyoyo.
He's found them.
He gets the start.
He's able to walk in, start things off on a DM. That's the Shaker gone. GPK past the BKB, starts to get the Sally Link going. Save trying to heal him up in from the side. Nightfall looking to charge in. The BKB, the RP, they'll control the Bristleback. Global popped out. You see Ori jumping with the Astral Steps over to GPK. He's able to pop the Razor. As GPK goes down, Save trying to turn, but shot back with the Scatter Blast. PYW cookies in on top of him to crush the Pugna's life.
Far too much damage on Vici. The Razor gets what? Almost a full link. Tiny doesn't care about link because he just keeps wailing you right through it. And Ori, as we mentioned, 8-2-10. Even though he had a bit of a rough lane in the game, he's had an excellent one. He was 5-1-10, 5-1-6 before. Now 8-2-10. One of the next few times you look at him, and the damage you do is pretty crazy as Void Spirit. Even with Empower, sure, you're mostly magical, but you still hit pretty hard.
Old 11. He's managed to get the jump in. Nightfall trying to get back to safety. The break can see. Cookie forward on a Poyoyo. Toss up. Have they got the damage? Yes, they certainly do. As Nightfall out of the game, 90 seconds, no buyback on the Bristle. This bottom rack's not going to stand a chance, of course, against the hard hits of Poyoyo. Morpheus 2's are taken. Vici Gaming, they can go for much more here. It's a long, long time with no carry up for VP.
This definitely feels like game over, right? It's 70 seconds still. There's a Tiny on the team. I think they can probably take all of it. Might be one more standard defense here that comes out from VP, but They did not ever hit their timing, it feels
They
like
did not
this
this
game.
game. AC complete on Poyoyo as well. Have to jump forward. Oh, Lemon not quite able to get a grab here. And VP will be able to push them back a little bit, but the Aegis is still there. Quick use of the Satanic gets a good bit of the HP up for Poyoyo.
That was a weird glyph, though.
And nobody was even hitting the racks at the time. But as it is, Glyph now gone.
Fisher?
It's a good Fisher.
It's a really good one.
They get a good link up. They'll be able to take Poyoyo down the once. And they do it a second time out to the side. DM BKB's not going to help him against the physical. As DM will fall. Doing their best though. They are managing to keep them off this mid-racks for now. And all things said and done, this mid-set's still standing. Poyoyo is going to look to try and put an end to that though. Steps back into Crepify. Not going to do anything at all there.
Instantly removes the Decrep with the Satanic, finishes off that Rax, and 26k gold lead. Just continue to look harder and harder for this Bristle and Razor to do much of anything.
Yeah, it is.
Even though they've even started like picking up the plate mails and stuff like that, but just the sheer damage that's coming out from Vici is just far too much for VP to hang on to. And yeah, they're saying Silencer is missing, so I'm thinking that they're probably like, damn, this Silencer actually ruined our entire idea of the draft, because ideally the way they wanted to play, the way they have throughout the tournament with this Bristleback is he just becomes unkillable because they have these heals that come out, but you can't. Even if you have the Lotus Orbs, it doesn't matter because the initial is going to get stopped. And they just die so fast. And now, speaking of dying fast, there's a DD rune on our Tiny, so...
Whoa.
Yeah. He's going to be hitting for over 1,000, critting for 1,900, just about.
Uh-oh.
Hunting bounties.
That's going to hurt. Yeah, well, good luck to VP in the next team fight.
Maybe they blow up Ori.
Let's see what they can do.
Uh-oh.
There's the global. BKB comes out for Tian. They'll see if they can lock down Ori. You got Poyoyo already coming in for the side. Ori's going to be able to get out there. The jump on Levin with a 3-man RP. Poyoyo lays down the damage. Nightfall trying to run. He'll fall. A 1,700 damage hit coming out there to end Nightfall's life. GG called. VG Gaming, this first game of the series, it's all theirs.
Super clean game again, Vici. I mean, they lost Poyoyo early game a couple times, right? I think maybe even all three of his deaths were relatively early in the game. VP had his number, but it didn't really seem to matter because VP couldn't capitalize on anything big. They got the rush, but they lost their Aegis almost immediately.
And not just that, it's another frontline hero that can kind of body for a draw, which is how she likes to play. She likes to have heroes that are just in first. So Vici's draft looking really good in my opinion.
Well, let's see if BSJ agrees, because we're going to head over to him right now for the last word.
Thank you, Frankie. For this game, I'd like to talk about the duration of the team fights. If you look at the VP lineup, we have Silencer, Earthshaker, Willow, Fear combo with the Puck Coil. In the first 5 seconds of that fight, most of their power is going to be exerted. Will they be able to take out one or two of the Vici Gaming heroes in this duration? If not, then they're going to be dealing with the consistent damage over time from the Drow long range as well as the DK. A lot more sustained damage from Vici. However, if Vici's missing a couple heroes, they're not going to have the damage in order to bring down this tanky Dusa from Nightfall. So how long will these fights go on, you may ask? Let's find out with OD Pixel and Fogged.
Brian, yes, game 2 now between VP and Vici Gaming. And what do you make of this, Fog? Do you look at this Medusa and feel like this is going to be able to do it? Or have they got the means to break the Medusa down?
Does feel like Vici's got a pretty good element to break down that Medusa. Also, she doesn't really have the best bodying heroes in the early game. Medusa does tend to take some time to get online, and what's her best frontline in this game? It's the Shaker, and it is into the Clockwork, so if Shaker's showing his face, it's just going to be free initiations for the clock over and over again, so does feel like it's a bit of an uphill battle for VP this time around.
Let's find out. Let's find out if VP is going to have the same difficulty that they did in game 1, where Vici Gaming for pretty much the mid-game onwards took full control, grew an incredible lead, and VP weren't able to turn it around. This time, it's going to be Vici attempting to run over VP, and VP very much going to do their best to get some sort of game going for this big old Medusa.
And let's see how Puck does. I've not seen Puck do too well, honestly, in these last few times. He's gotten hit by so many nerfs.
Yep.
It doesn't look that easy either. Into a Dragon Knight, into the Clockwork, into the Drow Silence. Lots of different things that could trip up GPK. And he has to be the one to go. That's the problem, is in this game, GPK on the puck has to be the one to go in and start the fights in almost every situation. Because if DM goes first, it's just going to be the hook shot, follow up, easy things. It has to be a pretty good distraction plays that come out from GPK. And
Sure.
right early on here, we do have some tips. Instant observer ward gets taken away too.
But you just feel that GPK, if he's the one going in, it's not like Vici Gaming don't have numerous ways to catch him when he's the first in the fight, right? There's a lot of things going to be tripping up that puck if GPK is the one to start off the action.
And they do have bodies. That's the difference. Is Drow Ranger in this game has 3 different heroes. Even Snapfire is not bad. It's 4 strength heroes that can just body up, tank up for that Drow to have a good positioning. They also have their own built-in repositioning tool, of course, from the cookie, where a lot of times you would want to last like a 4-staff or something to make sure that your Drow can be in a good spot. They have that built in, so it does feel very strong right now for the side of Vici. However, do have to give the positives and everything from VP, where they do have big initiation, and if they do jump, they pop global. They have a couple seconds to just clear out and win the fight, but it's got to be that. It's got to be exactly that. They need to crush the fight, just like BSJ was saying in the first few seconds of it.
So let's have a look at these lanes. You say mid lane, DK, Vici Gaming are going to be very happy getting that in response to the puck. Ori should feel right at home in the matchup here and not suffer really at all against the harassment from GPK. Have a pretty good job of being able to contest the CS here as the melee hero out of the two.
Yeah, it's a great lane for the DK. It's even gotten perhaps better than it used to be because of the nerfs onto the puck. And we see there's just so many different forms of initiation, really. And also vision tools. That's something I always do look at also when a team is running, multiple forms of initiation. Vici should have that vision game 1 for the majority of this game. Just clockwork the rockets he provides you. Also, they're going to be the ones dictating the pace of taking towers because they have DK. While on the side of VP, they do have to sit back a little bit more and kind of take towers after team fights. Vici's just going to be able to force them just with the innate power of their heroes.
In this bottom lane, Kingslayer done quite a good job of harassing back PYW and Old 11 here on the first wavers or so. So Nightfall in some good solid space to hit the CS nice and easily.
Even top, Drow. Poyoyo is really struggling up there. Only has the 3 last hits right now, 4 just now from under the tower, but didn't get much in the first 2 waves.
A little bit of missed micro there from Nightfall, letting his courier slip a little too close to PYW. I guess bottom lane, when we see sort of like the level 3s, things could step up a little bit for VG Gaming. This clockwork could be quite the nuisance for DM to try and get aggressive onto the Drow around.
This mid lane is rough already. I'm watching Ori. He's got the pointed stun at level 3, and he's just literally walking up when range creep gets nuked, stunning him, and then just getting range creep deny almost every time. He actually has 4 denies. I think 3 of those are range creeps.
Nah, he's playing
Look at
perfectly.
This. Yeah, every time there's an orb, he stuns, and now GPK maybe second guessing himself about going just straight for a rune.
Yeah, he's going to be able to get so many denies here.
Yeah. Very well played there by Ori.
And we'll have to see if GPK has the same sort of resilience and ability to come back from a bad lane as Ori did in game 1, of course, last time round. Ori, he was the one to be on the struggling end of a hero matchup.
Hero matchup and game matchup was good for Ori, right? Like we did mention that multiple times where there was some limited disables for him. GPK, it's a hard lane into a hard game, it feels like. So that's going to be a bit more of a tall order for him.
That's very true. And this puck was picked relatively later on in the draft. So.
Yeah. You could tell they were just trying to bandage their draft a bit because they just needed something to go in, something to start the fight so that this Dusa can actually get to play her hero, sit in the back lines.
DM at the top, able to suitably contest the CS there of Poyo.
Yeah.
Not getting the freest of times here as the Drow with the hard hits, the Shaker. Being able to get those solid denies guaranteed.
Oh, cool. Okay, he is still going to go for the Falcon Blade build-up. I was wondering if Drow was one of those heroes also that is going to go for it, because I haven't gotten to see too much Drow, to be honest with you, at this tournament. I'm actually really glad to be seeing someone taking it out versus a hero like Dusa, since it does have all those big benefits. Bottom, 11 does eat a pretty big snake there. He's going to have a salve, though.
Got top lane, they're found DM. DY, he's been able to trap him in the cogs. He's attempting to break his way out of it, but they've got the damage. Poyo able to claim first blood up here. I mean, of course, this lane, it does feel like it's not really going to get that much easier
No.
for DM now that the levels have kicked in. This Clockwork is going to be causing a huge nuisance for him anytime he tries to get anywhere close to the creeps or to the Drow.
I really thought we were going to see every game that Shaker gets picked, just Clockwork, because that's always been their response versus it. Inside a lane, inside of the game, you always just kind of own the hero. So we see that displayed right away. Poyoyo's still struggling a bit on last hit, sure, but getting that kill is massive. And we even do see DY make a quick venture on that move. He actually immediately goes after the kill and wards inside the triangle. So gets a sentry to check out if there's a ward on the high ground, and then also wards to watch when Ancients will start getting done. So they're going to have ways to contest to get on top of the Dusa if they do ever end up going for the stacks. That will not get dewarded, I can guarantee that.
Oh! GPK able to dodge the Dragon Tail stun. Does mean he has to jump under the tower to do so, though, so takes a couple of hits on the way out, and actually going to TP all the way back to base here for the reset. So
Look at the net worth already, 600 behind, and he has to go back.
yeah.
And immediately PYW shows up to mid, starts Little Shredder and Catapult. They want to get this push going. GPK starts pinging it. Think he's going to ask for help. They're going to have to rotate his support to stop this push. Otherwise, he could just lose his tower at a very early portion of the game.
Yeah,
and they can. If they lose an early tier 1, then access point to jungle toward the Medusa is going to be so easy for Vici.
See him, he's still on his own at the moment, GPK.
He needs someone to come. I see Kingslayer's running over. He didn't have a TP, so he has to make the walk.
Top lane. Making an attempt onto DY. He's got the cogs up in a couple of seconds. Some stick charges too.
right.
They know it. They're going to stop chasing here. They know they can't catch DY, so a bit of space created for Poyoyo there with the time that VP spend chasing the clock.
The tower does get, I mean, it's only 550 damage actually on the tower, so a decent job by GPK to just defend it alone. Did see Kingslayer walking over, but he didn't really end up doing much of anything as bottom.
Getting aggressive onto Nightfall. Quick drag back with the Shockwave, but not able to get him in position for a skewer back, and now PYW, he's got to head straight out with the TP.
Smart TP. Didn't even use his stick charges either, so he's got that for the next movement. He's got 10 on the Snapfire.
I mean, when GPK hits that 6, has the Dream Coil, is there, you know, what side lane is he looking to make moves in? What sort of impact can he have to sort of recover what's been a bit of a slow start against Ori's DK in the mid lane?
It also depends, because he could make the move on mid. If they do see the DK pop the 4 mid, he could ask for some rotations to the mid lane from the supports. They're going to have to bring everybody. They're going to have to bring the 2 supports and even potentially the Shaker. So it might cost them too much, so maybe he will hit a side lane, but it's not the easiest ones to hit, because Magnus is tanky.
Yeah.
The Clockwork is going to body and scout it out, and speaking of DY, almost finds DUM up top. So it's not the easiest ones, really, it seems like, for GPK to just make a clean rotation to.
No.
Because if he leaves the lane, his tower's dead.
Absolutely.
So.
Or he's going to start going to work with the Elder Dragonform back up and ready to pop yet again.
And they're even sending rockets behind the tower. DY is already scouting to see if anyone's sitting behind GPK in the mid lane.
I mean, these two again, you know, Save and DM, they try and step up for DY, but PYW has made the move over. GPK's in with the counterplay. There was solid Dream Coil onto the 2 of them. He'll jump onto the high ground. He's got the damage to burst through DY. So GPK able to respond, gets the kill on the support. The rest will be able to back away, but something to be found there by VP.
Coil's down though. PYW instantly moving toward mid to secure Rune. And it will spawn bottom, so GPK. Also an Illusion Rune. He can play around nicely with that to dodge out Dragon Tails as well.
We'll see Ori look to get a quick couple of hits in on the tower.
Keep poking it. 3,900 net worth to 3,100 already at the start. Supports both in the area. And the Medusa now, Nightfall, has opted to go for jungle. As, I mean, he kind of needs to also versus Magnus, as Mag now has his Dominator. 11's going to start pressuring tower, and already lane's starting to be a bit broken. VP starting to just farm up the jungle, which it might be a little too early. I mean, leaving the Drow just alone top. Drow having a successful laning phase is always a recipe for success for the hero.
Nightfall still showing his face bottom to try and slow down this push from the 2 of them. Yeah, old 11, PYW, and again, as we said at the start, all these heroes are rather tanky, very hard for VP to make moves on.
GPK does make his way top, though, and will start pressuring that tower as well. Poyoyo. Save is trying to set up on him, but Puck is a bit far.
A super deep, I mean, trying to buy some time, but the Bramble easily dodged. GPK, yeah, he knows he can't get in for a Dream Coil setup. Poyoyo well and truly out of harm's way. We see in the mid lane that tier 1 tower pretty much going down. Bottom lane, that tower will fall. Old 11 takes the tier 1. Yeah, this mid lane just a few hundred HP left in on it. Ori is going to step up to try and get rid of this, and DY is watching from the tree line. It's impossible for VP to defend. They're going to have to let another tower go. So
It's
9
level 5
minutes in.
DY. He finds Kingslayer.
Yeah, Kingslayers are walking into this. DY, he should have the damage here with the battery assault chase down. Kingslayer put the stick charges, it's not saving him. So 2 tier 1 towers, a kill's been found. Vici Gaming, they are hitting their stride very early this game.
Ooh, already a blink on Ori. They have so many different ways now to get on top of Nightfall. Just built-in ways. They have the blink on the DK, the skewer from the Magnus, the hook shot that's going to be coming up from the Clockwork, and they're going to have Mortimer Kisses that can be launched from the back line. We still don't have 6 on the Silencer either to stop those Mortimer Kisses once they do come online. I think PYW is bringing the Tome in a second here, so they're going to look to hit hard. This blink DK reveal.
That's scary for VP.
They have the damage follow-up. That's the real scary thing for sure. Is DY?
Catch him on his own here, DY. Well, he's got the cogs. And also, Ori by his side. TP out there.
Force the coil.
Is indeed going to force that. It's a kill, but it's a coil. There's the ult down. And this could be a bit more of a window for Vici Gaming to get even more aggressive onto VP, especially when DY is back up in 10. It's also very close to hitting the 6 on the clock.
They're going to go for bottom now. With that blink DK, with the Mortimer Kisses, they have the damage to be able to go through that Medusa. Global, not online. See, VP makes the read. VP's actually making their move top at the same time.
There's the jump. Kisses coming out as well. They're going to have a good amount of damage coming in onto Nightfall. Nightfall's going to go straight for the TP out, though. And with the cover at the Global, the quick TP, Nightfall makes it away from the move. Same time, top lane, VP, they're getting it onto Poyo. TP's coming in. Fisher's out here to catch the 2 of them. Old 11 turns, Echo Slam straight into the face of the Drow. They take out Poyo. They'll lose Sacred though. GPK quick with the jump out. Is he able to get away from this? Old 11's trying to chase, but they don't have any further gap close. So a 1-for-1 there, but VP taking down that Drow, finally able to slow down Poyo a little bit.
Tome had just been delivered to Kingslayer. Right when they made the move, he got the Tome, got the 6, got the Global, able to probably save Nightfall. Did look a little bit scary for him there for a second with that damage, because he didn't have Mana Shield on at the start when they went on him, so. They do get the Drow. So VP do get themselves on the board there. Still a 2K lead for Vici.
Yeah, it was a good response to
DM.
what VP was trying to get done.
That was a bit scary there for a second. DY almost could have found the angle to get onto DM. DM, about 250 gold from Blink Dagger, so that's pretty fortunate for them. So they'll have multiple ways to initiate. I believe GPK went for a bit more greed, a bit more ways to scale inside of the game. Doesn't want to just be a Blink. He's going to actually go for that Witchblade.
Yeah, they need the damage.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, DY. Quick catch here onto the Willow. And no escape out of the cogs. DY, he'll be bounced away. They'll have Ori and PYW to wrap around with finishing damage.
Great cookie.
Let's see what DM can do. Shaker, blink online.
Middle tower is under attack.
No echo for 60 though. Still with the blink, as long as he's able to stay in the nearby neighborhood of Nightfall, we'll be able to help out that Deucer if the jump comes in. Both teams here cleaning up some nice ancient stacks.
Ooh, those are some very nice ones for Nightfall. Much needed ones, as he is a little bit behind that Drow. And it's a scary matchup, that Medusa versus Drow Ranger. I mean, just Drow is going to be able to pierce right through her, and he is buffed up a little bit more, of course, as we always tend to say. The Empower, since you're a high base damage hero, sure, you're not melee, but Empower is just so damn good, and he's got Little Shredder. He will have what I thought was going to actually be a medallion on PYW. PYW switching it up a bit. I guess they are all really just trying to compensate for the global that's going to come out. The Lotus Orbs just start to become more valuable, but either way, Drow is always going to have a little bit more of that steroid from his teammates.
And how does sort of the Drow-Deucer matchup go as the game goes on? Does Drow always just have that range and damage advantage against Medusa?
I mean, of course, you have to factor in everything else of all the rest of the lineups because, like, he has like all these body airs, so I'd give Drow the pretty big favor in the later stages because of that, and because they don't have the same type of reach. DY?
And talking about reach, floats it in with a hook shot.
He pulls him out of the cogs with the shockwave.
He's not going to be able to get the blink off, though. Actually using the slam here.
Ooh.
So... yeah, I mean, they need that. That's, what, 150 seconds, no slam. A much more punishing time in comparison to the 20 that he's just dead. No echo. That's going to make things a little difficult for VP to do much, really, against Vici Gaming the next minute or so.
Yeah, Wondering why he actually just laid it down.
Well, I think he thought that he could
would
blink.
think he can blink out, but
Yeah.
either way, that's not worth it at this point in the game. Like the way that Vici's setting the tempo, now you're not going to have Echo for such a long time when you respawn. You're putting all the pressure on on the Willow and the Puck, who they can make moves though. Something we did not talk about, of course, is the coil into the fear combo that will be coming out.
That's tough. Oh, look at this old 11. He's able to get the catch onto the Deuce. Immediate global and Stone Gaze. Fisher out onto the 4 of them. They're giving the coverage for Nightfall to break away from Vici Gaming. The kisses are coming in though. They're trying to chase GPK. He's jumped in on the backline. He's in onto Poyo. He's on top of the Drow.
The fear.
The snap back on the coil. The damage is done. VP, they jump the Drow. Turn over towards Oliver. Oliver pulls the RP though. The AoE damage there from PYW, but they've lost the Drow and the Magnus. Vici Gaming have to back off as VP, they're able to fight around Vici Gaming very well there. Good read from GPK getting over on top of the Drow. That follow-up as well from the Dark, well, it's just the combo, it is there and can cause issues at this stage of the game.
Whew, right after we say it too, they do land that combo as we're going to see it again. And it was actually, so look at the mini-map here. They were making their own move on VP. They scanned, they knew where the Drow was, then Drow GP'd mid, and they're like, wait, this is even better. We can actually connect to where our team is getting gone on and get this perfect grab. And again, Global coming into play, perfect.
Yeah, and there was nothing that Vici Gaming could do to bail Poyo out of that sort of move.
And it was an RP kind of wasted. They didn't get that big core kill.
And back in action on the top lane. Look what they found here. DY. He's going to look to hookshot out. He's actually still alive. Fisher's out, but the creeps, they'll take him. The neutrals taking down DY there.
Because of the raindrop. Raindrop blocked the Fisher damage. Neutral gets the last hit.
A little bit of fire though here from VP.
And starting to get starting to get some big damage stuff too. I actually really like that Save is going for this build. He's going for the Vessel this time around. He has Fairy Trinket. He's going to dish out a ton of damage. Also playing into DK, playing into all these tanky bruisers, makes Vessel even more valuable. Those are loud dragons. Released by Ori. Who is going to be rushing toward that BKB? Since he is playing versus like Global and all this like spell nuke that VP does have, wants to have that coverage. Old 11, looks like he's gonna go for his own Greaves. So like we mentioned, tends to happen when you're playing versus Silencer. Everybody's trying to find some type of dispel.
And they need all they can get to play out against that. We've seen in the last game as well, of course, from Vici that time round, how much the Silencer just breaks the complete combo of the enemy team in this early game. Top lane, DY. He's found DM. Easy catch here in the cogs, and DM, no chance of getting out.
Oof, that's something scary also, though, to point out is you tend to see these Force Staffs always be prioritized a lot more versus Clockwork, but they don't really have the greatest Force Staff carrier. Silencer, Kingslayer is looking to build one. However, that's going to be good to protect himself, but protecting teammates as a Silencer, that means you're showing yourself in a fight, probably. If you're looking to like Force Staff a teammate a lot of times, could be a bit problematic, and that's the only person who can really build it in the early game. So, I mean, DM's game is going to be hard, as we've already stated multiple times, because he is playing versus that Clockwork, but that's just going to continue to make it harder. He probably has to go for his own Force Staff.
I think so, yeah. A lot of ways to catch Kingslayer from a distance if he's they're aware of his position. Hook shots, kisses, these blinks, of course, coming in. Huge range from the Drought. It's not a very safe battlefield for this Silencer to show his face on.
No, he really has to hide because Global is just so damn important. And DM is starting to get really underfarmed. He's going to get surpassed by the Snapfire at some point soon. Only 700 away. We do see PYW getting a ton of farm on the map. Almost has his Lotus Orb done, actually. He's 600 away from Lotus Orb on Snapfire. So he'll have his way to be able to cover his teammates, cover himself versus that Global. They're scouting behind the tower too, the Rocket. It scouts DM.
Oh!
And he gets the hook shot.
That's a deep hook shot there for DY. Straight back underneath the towers. He's got eyes on DM. They're pushing back DM. He's actually going to use the slam, but they've got the damage. DM will fall. They've lost Kingslayer as Vici Game were able to get in on the back lines. Magnus on under the tower. Coil there under the Drought. VP, they're able to hit back. They may have lost 2 underneath the tower, but losing 2 cores in response for that Vici Gaming as VP, they are able to punish that pretty aggressive dive.
Great target prioritization. That GPK just sees Drow. He immediately just blinks, coils him. They have ways to catch up to her.
GPK is, his target prioritization in the last few fights has been, if he keeps this up, Poyo's just not going to be able to play their game in the fights until they sort of get that extra arm online. BKB still a Still quite a while away for the Drow Ranger. Until that's there, GPK is going to be doing this every single time.
Yep. He really does have his number, and we did mention multiple times, right? A little bit of a tough lane, could be a bit of a tough game versus the Silence and versus the instant stun of DK. 2-0-4 on GPK.
No, he's
having an excellent game.
He's certainly shown his power on the puck.
And Nightfall also almost has an eye of Scotty, finished up on the Dusa very early.
Saving DM, finding DY.
Will he go down?
Oh, probably do. Okay,
Yeah, the creep.
The creep.
Oh, it stopped hitting him.
So now I'm good. Well, I'll let VP take the kill instead.
I like how they're both just tipping each other back and forth. 11. It's a lot of damage he's going to take from the curse as well as from that vessel. Over 1,000 even. And as we mentioned, Scotty's already done for Nightfall. Very early timing.
He's looking pretty
scary.
solid, you know, already about 2k ahead of that of the farmer Poyoyo. As I say, Poyoyo has got to get that BKB, then they've got to look to get things done. If they try for anything again before that BKB is online and Poyoyo gets jumped again, taken out of the team fight once more, VP are going to be able to create quite a big distance between their own Medusa and the enemy Drow.
And it's a really, I actually really like that he went for that. We've been seeing it more, but the early Scotty pickup versus DK and Drow. DK going to be in range for him. He's going to get slowed extra. Drow ever gets hit once, it's got to be strong in GPK.
Very, very quick with the blink there. And with that blink, I think, yeah, Ori's going to be able to get himself in a position where VP can't go for him anymore. They'll try and turn for DY, but DY, he's closed in on Kingslayer. He's caught the silencer. Hasn't got enough damage on his own to push up into Kingslayer, though, with the rest of VP standing by his side. Old Levy's looking for the jump. He is now able to get the hold onto Kingslayer.
Oh, and they get DM.
He's got the setup onto DM. Jump forward with the Dragon Tail. DM will turn for the Fisher, but the burn from the kisses and the Dragon finishes him off. As VP, they felt they were in a favorable position there up on the high ground, but VG Gaming showing that they weren't afraid to make the jump up there. And this time around, Kingslayer just much further forward than the rest of his teammates, a little out of position that time.
Poyoyo still, as you mentioned, waiting for that BKB before he looks to really take on that big head-on fight. Kingslayer's, Nightfall is in an excellent position though. Right now they did use the DK form. They still have RP available, so I'm not sure if VP can force the issue here onto anything, but they are grouping up for something. Rallying around this Medusa is going to be a good idea.
Tower down, and VP ready to go up the high ground. But VG Gaming are there waiting. He's going to make the jump first. There's the DM is missed the slam. They get the coil on one, but no slam to follow up here. It's a pretty tanky Magnus. See if they actually are able to finish him off. They are. Fisher's down. Old 11 can't escape. They take out the Mag there. Did cost themselves a couple of the big ults. The initiation, at least.
That's a pretty clean disengage, if I say so myself, from Vici. They show the DK, but his DK form is ending, so it's an ideal situation for them to show, blink out, only lose one hero. Nightfall.
He's just run up to the high ground on himself. He's feeling pretty strong. I mean, he's pretty darn farmed, and he is getting away with it. Now Poyoyo, he's got to try and run, but they're over the Scotty, so he's caught in the bramble. They're trying to get the Drow out of there with the cookies. Poyoyo goes down. PYW is also going to be chased out. DM jumps forward, slap to the face. That's 4 out on VG Gaming. And my goodness, Nightfall, where he knew he could get away with it, just waltzing up to the high ground of the Stusa. VG Gaming, they try and make a go on him, and it's his farm showing off. You know, he's at the top of the net worth. These items just flying in, Dragonlance, Scotty, SMY. He is massive. And VG Gaming, if it's not a fully coordinated 5 heroes going on him, they struggle to kill him at this stage.
And they knew there's no DK form. I mean, most of Vici had lost, was not available, right? Like Magnus was still dead, DK form was down. Drow Ranger's BKB was sitting on the courier above him. I don't know what happened actually. I like looked like it wasn't delivering. He had the courier over him and it wasn't delivering, and then the puck just killed it. I'd have to see it again because I caught it at the last second, but I thought he had it already out onto him, but yeah, I guess the courier just didn't deliver it in time. So 2 minutes, no BKB.
Oh, I like quick jump. Mori. Here's able to find. Save over here to the side, skewer back. This is a very dead Willow. Mori already looking for more. Was trying to catch the courier, but BKB Dragon form up for him.
Nightfall's just leaps and bounds ahead, though. Not only just in the gold, he's 4 levels ahead of Poyoyo as well.
Level 20 here, just 24 minutes in.
And as we mentioned, a minute left until the courier respawns with Poyoyo's BKB. They're already pinging him out. Like, DM's considering even making a go onto him.
I mean, look at this. Quite the swing around here back into VP's favor. VP playing this sort of early mid game very well from behind.
GPK is the biggest one, right? Level
absolutely.
18 on the puck. He's doing so much work.
Yeah.
406. 10 of the 12 kills have been because of his movements.
And as you said, you cannot understate how difficult of a puck game this is. But GPK here on the main stage, bringing it out against some of the tougher heroes to play this hero into.
Yeah, he's not into it like a Nyx Assassin plus it all, but yeah, into the Gust and into Clockwork and DK can always be difficult, and he's just been super active. Having to use the coil this time, feeling a little bit scared. He's gonna get jumped. His team is also making the move.
Yeah, they want to get Nightfall involved as much as possible right now. They realize that the power that their Medusa has, so
Eagle Song
keeping
already.
Nightfall over this half of the map. I mean, Vici Gaming, you can sort of see it there. Sort of look at this Medusa and saying, what do we do? How do we approach fights now into VP when we know that Nightfall's always going to be around by their side?
They were waiting for BKB. It finally respawns off Courier, so now Poyoyo's much safer. He can actually play Dota, because without a BKB in this game, it was like he could literally do nothing. He gets jumped on every time. And they are rallying around that, but VP, as we've been mentioning, rally around Nightfall, who's more than halfway towards a butterfly. He's going to have excellent timing on it. Mid.
Starting action. I mean, this DK's just dying. Or he has to put the BKB, get out. And he gets taken down completely there when he gets caught in by the Fisher.
RP.
Forwards to jump. They cut the one. Global comes out in return, and only getting Nightfall in the grab back there, Old 11. So there's nothing else to move in and press on with here from Vici Gaming. GPK jumping in behind the tower.
That's a couple times now. DM
And a quick jump out as well. Dodges the hook shot. Fisher's out of the two of them. They're coming out of the kisses, but with a face shift. GPK's able to avoid it. Nightfall moves into position with the stone gaze. They're trying to get Ori out of here with the cookie Nightfall. He's been stewed up the high ground, but it's almost as if he doesn't care. A little shred of damage coming in, but have they actually got enough to bring down this Medusa? Mana starting full low for Nightfall, but GPK's in. Jumps across with the ult. A double kill for GPK. Poyoyo also to fall. They've lost 3. Old 11 on to skewer back to the tier 4s as he runs away. VP, I mean, we're seeing a hidden Nightfall underneath the tier 3. It's almost as if he's defending the wrong base. They can't even get past him back to the safety of their own high ground. Nightfall is just seemingly too huge at this moment.
Just stone gazes and literally runs in. That's another form of initiation. Also awkward from Vici the way they start the fight. Old 11, he thinks he sees a 2-man RP, but again, now we see these like quick little blink daggers. DM dodges it. It ends up being only a single catch. The global to cover. And then, yeah, the skewer into the base actually brings them right on top of Drow Ranger. So see you later, marksmanship.
Absolutely. And Nightfall sort of says, well, thank you. Giving Nightfall the high ground there in that situation. Not necessarily the high ground you'd normally expect to want to be in on the enemy's base, but it worked out that time.
And seeing severe damage issues, really. Nightfall just 6,000 ahead. He's about to have a literal full item ahead of that Drow Ranger. And Drow's had to go for more defensive builds, as we've mentioned multiple times. She doesn't have the liberty to be able to go for these type of just straight damage items.
Titan Sliver as well picked up for Nightfall.
Oh boy. Starting to feel real difficult for Vici to do much of anything. Even though they've gotten all these items to counteract the global, their bigger problem is the Dusa.
How do they kill him?
Middle tower has fallen.
2-0-7, perfectly clean game so far from Nightfall.
GPK 6-0-6 as well. These two cores just absolutely crushing it. While DM is having a little bit of a harder game, these two are absolutely making up for it. And now with good map control here too, they're about to have another BKB finished up on DM. A DD rune spawns top, outside the Roche pit.
Here we go.
Save.
Absolutely. Playing around with the 3 of them on his own. There, going with the kiss of the hook shot. They've had enough for save. I mean, they will kill him off with that. See if they're actually able to get everyone out. Old 11 will go for the skewer back, trying to take Nightfall away from the rest of his team. 4 heroes focusing this Medusa. They'll use the RP as well, but Nightfall, he's not even taken half HP. He's now ready to move forward with the Stone Gaze. They will be able to disarm him here for now. So Nightfall now chooses to back off. The jump in onto Kingslayer. Kingslayer, by the looks of it, will be left behind by the rest of the squad as VP will continue the retreat with the 3 of them. But we're seeing there have been multiple ultimates just thrown out onto Nightfall, caught rather far away from the rest of his team. It just doesn't matter.
If he didn't have Butterfly there, it actually is likely that he dies. But with that evasion, you see the Drow Ranger does little to nothing as Poyoyo, they know where he is. GPK's already on top of him.
Already starting the action here with the Dream Coil. BKB is still on cooldown for 30 seconds for Poyoyo. He's going to try and turn and hold his ground, but DM just walks up. Echo Slam right on top of the face of the Drow Ranger. BKB's popped by Ori. He'll look for the TP out, nothing to put a stop to it through that magic immunity. So Ori manages to escape. But Poyoyo, he's going to continue to struggle to catch up to Nightfall right now. About 7k difference here with Nightfall hitting the 20k net worth just 29 minutes in.
It's feeling pretty much impossible. And look at this, an instant move again. VP, they see Old 11 farming top for a second, hunting him. Will he be able to get away?
Oh, the fish is just a little short there. Not quite having the reach, DM.
Poyoyo's game is it's just too hard. Even though he had to rush for the BKB, just too many deaths that he had. He's 6 deaths. When you're playing versus a Medusa who has literal free farm, no deaths whatsoever, and just full map control. Not the position Vici wants to be by any means.
I mean, they're even got some DY here behind the tower. Vici Gaming really falling apart now, as they can barely keep one another alive here. They make any sort of split play on the map. VP make the jump instantly, up 8k.
And now
okay, the catch GPK. He's still got mana for an orb though.
Should be fine. And he's got Aghanims now too. So Poyoyo's 20-something minutes it took him to farm that BKB is now totally counteracted, as if they just coil her. Nightfall can just stone gaze, run all the way up into her face. And the game is starting to look pretty impossible for this Drow Ranger to have that distance. Even though they drafted it, it's been unable to actually perform because of how well, in particular GPK has been able to perform.
I think he's ruined the whole idea that they wanted with this Drow pick. And I don't think they expected him to be able to do so in the way that he does.
Yep.
This is just top GPK puck play.
And great coverage. Kingslayer's global is on point. Perhaps, we did see in the first series of the day, Magnus was the hero of the series. Silencer now both games looking real hot.
Aegis on Nightfall as well now.
Oop, Ori.
Gonna try for the TP out, but they've got ways to stop it. Ori's escape shut down.
He doesn't even bother popping BKB or anything like that, since that is an Axe coil. Knows he's gonna die either way.
Immediately moving up towards the outpost to try and play from the opposite side here. Vici Gaming heading straight back to the base. Fisher will catch TY. Oh, Old 11! He's found the 3 of them. The Global's there, but he's never removed the silence. Skewer back up to the high ground, but DM pulls the BKB, the Echo as well. They take down DY. Old 11's got to try and run from Nightfall, but the slows there for the Skadi. They'll get the kill. Diving up to the tier 4's fortification pod. Poyoyo and PYW desperately trying to get back. They'll look to turn over towards GPK's puck, but the fear from Save pushes them back. And Ori, he comes back into action with the buyback, but he's not able to get the catch onto anybody. As VP, they're back outside of the base, only losing DM in that dive that they're forced to make thanks to the skewer of Old 11.
Oh, the double buyback's real hurt. And just no damage. That's like 8,000 gold behind this Medusa. Even with Aegis online, they just can't even hurt her.
Pretty much a full Daedalus.
Yep.
Out for the next fight.
Yeah,
we'll see this again here. I mean,
it was a good RP.
It was
Greaves to remove that global and to get the skewer into, but at this point, when they're so far behind, they just don't have the damage coming out from Poyoyo.
Absolutely, and DM just immediately BKB getting the 2-man Echo off, blows up DY. Old 11 having to run, and they have to get us away from Nightfall as quickly as they can at this point. Nightfall hitting the level 25. Just continue to hit insane timings upon timings on this hero this game.
Yep, and insane item timings as well too for GPK, right? Like in that situation, imagine he doesn't have one of these, like he doesn't have Ghost Scepter. Perhaps he does die to that Gus and all that combo, but he's just so damn farmed on this puck with the Kaya Sanj as well. Also now an E-Blade, so he can cover his teammates, cover himself, more burst damage. Pretty insane how farmed GPK really is this game.
Yeah, this is wild. 8-0-9.
And it's just, what's the bailout going to be really for Vici, as they're just falling further behind, and Poyoyo, he's just nowhere near an MKB, nowhere near a big damage item for him to actually deal with this Medusa.
And of course, game 1 very much got to a situation rather early where it felt like there was very little VP could do to make a comeback. This game, do you feel Vici Gaming is in just as difficult of a position, or was it Nightfall? I mean, he's on his own, but they're just having a run.
I feel like this is a much harder position, to be honest, for
You think
Vici.
this is even more difficult to come back in?
This Medusa is just now it's literally almost 3 items ahead of a Drow Ranger. There's just not really too many methods of recovery. It's level 20 on Drow 2, level 25 on Dusa. Puck also level 25. They're just getting so much. And Vichi's all kind of trapped in their base, so that lead is just going to continue to grow. They can barely even get outside now at this point.
Yeah, they've just got to hold the high ground and hope for the best here, Vici Gaming.
Yep, he's got the level 20 talent on the Magnus, so that's kind of what they have to play around now, is just skewer range, just pulling them under tier 4s. Even then, though, very difficult. There's, yeah, VP, just chilling out, farming on the lanes.
Let's see what they want to do next here. VP, they very much can pick and choose the next move they make. Visibly under very little pressure right now.
Showing in all 3 lanes. That's when you have. That's when you're super confident that they can't make any move to punish you.
VG Gaming just having to play the waiting game. At least for that Aegis. 20 seconds, it will be gone on Nightfall. Maybe then they can look to try and get out, or at the least be a little bit more willing to throw themselves into some sort of action outside of the high ground.
They're gonna have to just somehow try to isolate this Medusa, though. That's the one problem I do see for them, is they have to kill everybody else on VP, and then they have to try to kill the Medusa. Because if they just take a head-on fight by any means, the Medusa's unkillable. She's gonna clean up everybody super easy. So somehow they have to find and get, like, I guess multiple skewers, really. It's like all eyes on Old 11. If you can get a skewer, then another one, just keep repositioning and taking out heroes so they have a number advantage. It's super hard for Vici to do much of anything. He's gonna fish. He'll get one.
That's the jab.
That's a pretty good one.
At least we'll save down for a minute here. VG Gaming can be pretty confident that VP won't make a play for this window. The question is if they want to try and get out and do something whilst it's 5 versus 4. Still won't be easy by any means, but might be something to work with.
They have to find someone that's not the Medusa. And probably not GPK too, because he is also quite immortal. 34 armor on the Puck.
I mean, you see DY trying to get round to the back line, see if he can get the line onto the silencer, onto Kingslayer.
Something pretty cool too is with GPK, he's been hanging on to Blaster Rig majority of this game, and the reasoning is because it's that plus armor versus the marksmanship, so he's just that much tankier. Like I was mentioning, he was super tanky. Now, sure, as soon as I said, he does find the Spell Prism, which is like the most fortunate item for a Puck, but you could see the reasoning of why he was carrying it for so long in the game.
Well, the moment has passed, and nothing to be done even with one hero off the map.
No, they can't. Not on the side of Vici yet.
I mean, VP immediately looking to group up and maybe try and even get the jump from the low ground. With the way that GPK has been playing, if he catches anybody up there, he will quickly get himself in and out of the base of VG Gaming to start the fight off.
Lane's pushing in. GPK ports bottom anyway, just a push. And they are still smoked, especially on the 2 backline heroes, the Earthshaker and the Silencer, who had a rough game in the early game versus this Clockwork, but ever since the early game, it's just been easy pickings for them. DY unable to really find the opportunities when VP all started grouping up. VP really, yeah, look at that confidence, like just really starting to get the taunts going as they should. Win probability at 90%.
Yeah, they did certainly struggle in game 1, so having this sort of a game 2 performance is going to be huge for VP.
GPK breaks the smoke, backs away, and I believe they prevented them from getting any of their tier 4 items too. They haven't been able to find a single neutral on the side of Vici in the last couple minutes.
DY, he's not going to want to go
Dire's middle tower
a little too far out. I mean, they try and make the move, but nobody to be caught. They immediately back off straight back to the base and look to reset.
So I'm getting some small gains there for Poyoyo, almost up to his next item. But still not quite enough, as he is still going to struggle. versus that Medusa.
Yeah, with the BKB on Nightfall, it's pretty much at the point where he can stand tall on the high ground, take these objectives with very little, if anything, being able to be done by Vici's heroes against him. Certainly has geared up to this point to becoming pretty much invincible.
I'm surprised they haven't just gone into the Rosh pit again.
Radiant are scanning.
Starting to ping it out, maybe looking to fix out the bottom lane before they do head into that pit, but I believe they're going to look to at least go in there quite soon, because it does feel pretty impossible for Vici to get over toward that Rosh. If they take a fight around the Rosh pit, it's disaster for them, because that's very likely where VP still has all the information, all the vision, and then that's where Nightfall can just actually start to hit heroes, which is, I think, what he really wants to do at this point. 545 last hits on this Medusa. I think he's done farming. I think he really wants to start killing.
I mean, there's only so much more that he can really pick up at this stage. He is. And an incredible peak of power here we see on the CS, 550 CS in this 14-minute game.
Level 27 as well, so on top of Butterfly, has the evasion talent too, so again, even more so mentioning how much Drow is going to struggle.
They will head into the pit now. Right, Vici Gaming are not going to be able to make any move over here. They're still going to have to play the waiting game. Stepping out towards Roshan is not an option.
Wait till what though, right? Because they aren't, like we said, Butterfly is done for Poyoyo, DK's finished his Aghanim Scepter, so they're starting to get all these items, but how are they going to kill Medusa?
They've got 3 of them heading over, not the full squad. Maybe seeing if they could go for some sort of Aegis steal, but as it is, VP themselves have backed out of the pit. They don't want to even get that little bit of an opportunity for maybe DY to make some smart play with a hook shot. So they don't push on for the Rosh.
I feel like they're being just a little bit too hesitant.
You think they can just go get this?
I think they can just go in there. This Medusa is enormous. They have global for coverage too. I guess they are fearful of the steal,
They just
like
don't
you were
want the steal,
mentioning.
yeah.
But
Yep. I mean, that must be it.
they know where he is now.
Yeah.
That rocket giveaways positioning. He's going to see the sentry too. Now they're 100% aware. They see DY.
He's doing his best to get an angle to try and get in on this. And they will push him away. He tries to TP out, but the fish is there. As he's gone, VP playing it as safe as they possibly could there, really. At the same time, down on the bottom, PYW also taken out. I mean, VP, they're just really leaving nothing up to chance here. They're keeping all of their exits covered in this game.
That is very true. And they will find PYW, who's been split pushing most of the game. And speaking of PYW, I mean, 8-3-4. He's been I think quietly sliding along with some excellent score for his team, but you just feel that gloom just continuing to come. There's just no solution for the Medusa. They're going to try.
It's going to be a deep skewer, but do they have anywhere near the damage to take this man down the once, let alone the twice? And it doesn't look like it. Nightfall, still in fighting shape. Took a little bit of a bruising, but still feeling confident. We'll see another round. It's going to be pretty deep here where he loses the Aegis, though. This is behind tier 4. They've found the Drow. BKB comes out, Poyoyo over the Hurricane Pipe back to safety. RP's down. They've caught Nightfall. Have they got the damage? Hook shot over. He gets the BKB off. Now he's going to look to try and repulse the Stone Gaze. Poyoyo, he's out of the game. No buyback on the Drow. Nightfall still good to go. DY looking to get away. The kisses from PYW coming up in the base. Dragon Tail stun in. Nightfall, he's still able to move away. BKB's popped by the Dragon Knight as Ori trying to kill off this Medusa, but they just cannot. Nightfall still alive. GPK ready to jump back in. Diving past the Ancient. Kills off Old 11. 3 dead. No buyback. Ori stopped outside of his base. The E-Blade Blast comes in. GPK styling on them outside of the fountain.
GPK. What a game by him. 11-0-10. Drow Ranger Poyoyo thinks he got away. Puck comes in with the E-Blade with the Dagon, easily able to clean him up at the end there. Almost bringing down the Medusa the second time. But
I mean, yeah, it really is just one of those games to be able to pull out this sort of a performance on the main stage. GPK, no nerves whatsoever. Just look at the net worth. I mean, Nightfall has been having the most insane game when it comes to farming, but GPK, because of these plays and these kills, he's nearly as farmed as his Medusa.
He is about to have nothing else he can purchase except for Moonshard. He has the bot. I mean, bots too, fine, but he's got a Dagon 5 once he spends his gold. He's got everything. That is ridiculous.
I mean, I enjoy it now, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think GPK is going to get a player's puck again here.
No, especially not in
teams aren't letting this through.
Especially now when they have all these heroes that are just, like, I mean, that they would have liked versus, especially that DK, just unable to find any grabs on him. Yeah, it's been the GPK show, really. And Vici, it really feels like they've been trapped inside their base now for what feels like 10, 15 minutes. VP. I feel like VP is doing the Vici to Vici right now.
Sure.
Right? Because this is what Vici does to teams where they're like, oh, we're going to get ahead. We're going to stay ahead. We're going to suffocate you. We're going to make you feel miserable inside your base. And look at, I mean, it's Vici this time around stuck in their base, probably feeling quite miserable for the last 10 to 15 minutes.
This is what you want to do, you know, game 2 and getting the equalizer here. You know, there's going to be one more game to the series if you can close this up, and you want to make sure that you've been able to push your enemy into a pretty rough mental state before that final game. And this sort of drawn out, slow win is definitely not going to be fun to be on the receiving end of.
Bottom. Easy kill.
No buyback, of course, still for Ori. Still on that long cooldown after the last fight. But now with it being 4 versus 5, this could be VP finally having mercy and look to put an end to this. Odd 11 is a deep skewer. Instantly out with the ultimate though. GPK ready to jump in. He's looking towards Poyo on the backlines. They've killed off Old 11. They're in on top of the Drow. Leashed up as well by the Dream Coil. Poyo tries to stun. Hookshot back in over towards DM. They take out DM. But GPK's in, pushes back Poyo.
What a monster. He's just standing his ground, high-fiving Poyoyo while Dagon-5ing him, while E-blading him. 40k gold lead. Looking to close this one out finally. GG is
They call it. They call it, ladies and gentlemen. There we have it. VP taking game 2 here against VG Gaming. And my goodness, what a game by them. What a game coming back after what was a pretty darn tough game 1 against VG Gaming. And yeah, I mean, we've said it many times and we'll say it again. GPK's puck, my goodness, that sort of showing here on a main stage is,
And Ember has a really hard time playing the game.
All right then, let's see what BSJ has to say in his last word before we get into the final game of this series.
Thank you, Frankie. As both these teams have a similar recipe going into game 3, they have a mobile spirit mid hero, they have a hard carry that consumes the map, and they have offlaners that stand in front and set their team up for successful fights. Now, the key here is since Terrorblade and Luna can farm so many creeps, it comes down to the early game towers, which will open up the map for either side. Until that Underlord pick, VP had absolutely no way to defend their towers. So it's going to rest heavily on DM to be that wall to defend his towers, because the Luna as well as the Storm are not going to be able to do so in the super early game. So which carry is going to have more space to farm? Which carry is going to have better matchup? Terrorblade against the Luna individually, or the ET to make the Terrorblade lose his armor and the Underlord to make him lose his damage? Only one way to find out with OD Pixel and Fogged.
Thank you very much, Brian. Yes, the deciding game 3 now between Virtus Pro and VG Gaming. As Brian was touching upon there, a lot of sort of sweet sort of counter picks here from both sides. Who, in your opinion, has come out on top of this one, though, Fogg?
Well, actually, I'm not too sure. I really like both drafts. I think they both have their positives and negatives. I would say Vici is a lot more cooldown dependent, so if VP is able to play at their usual pace, especially with the way that they played last game, I can see them pulling a little bit ahead faster. However, if the pace of the game starts to get too slowed down, that's where I can see Vici start coming back, because they have a very farm-heavy team. So we'll see how that ends up going.
All right, let's find out. But I think we can indeed hope for quite a lot of action this time round. I think my eyes are definitely going to be on the GPK Storm. You know, he was on quite a performance last game on his puck. Storm, very much another hero that the man has performed on big time in the past. Overall, they're definitely a little concerned for VP because of that Luna into the TB.
Sure.
As was mentioned by the panel, something that in the past has been kind of just a difficult game to play. You know, you have this TB that could take advantage of quite a bit of the hero's own benefits.
Absolutely. Look at this level 1 smoke. VP, they found a target.
All right, here we go. Setup. Let's see if they have the damage. Oh, they certainly do. Or maybe they don't.
Oh my.
Right. They act with the 5 of them there. They can't actually get the kill. Just a little bit of a cookie, and he's back off to safety. No first blood to be had here, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, okay. Gets a couple stick charges, right? I think that might have been even, he got, what, like 3-4 stick charges when he popped and cooked it. I cannot believe he lived.
They didn't kill him.
Alrighty.
All right, PYW. avoiding death there.
It's always like also, you know, people might look and be like, why didn't Kingslayer skill Stomp? You can't do these type of things.
Sure.
Just to secure a first blood, you can't cripple your lanes. So has to go for the Spirit, and we'll see them still. Will they still get the 3 runes? No, they'll get the 2-for-2 exchange. Doesn't mean Old 11 won't take a beating. So the thing about this lane also, though, is a lot of times I've seen these Lunas picked versus Tidehunter when you have another range hero that can benefit from that Lunar Blessing, but you have ET, so this could potentially become a pretty difficult also for Old 11, just because of that ramp-up damage that comes out from the 2 of them, from that Aura as well as the Spirit.
Absolutely.
And it's a change-up, too. It's DY is playing Monkey King in the off lane with Old 11, and PYW is kind of playing, like, I guess, like the 5 snap a little bit more, which we really rarely see Vici switch up their roles like that.
Yeah.
Maybe we still will see the Snapfire get more of that farm, and they just wanted to have these lanes set up.
Sure.
But yeah, it's still a switch up. It's something I don't see too often.
Why go for this setup? Because I'm seeing this, and you are now having 2 melees play into the ET. I mean, do you feel that because you are a Monkey King, you are a hero that can trade back with the melee?
I think they just wanted something that could help Poyoyo more inside of the laning phase. I'm not sure. It's a really interesting approach because we also have, you know, the ET is played as a 5 and the Bane is played as a 4. So both teams kind of changing things from the norm.
Yeah. Oh, very interesting to see it. We'll see how it pays off.
And we'll see how this mid lane goes, because I know we've seen it multiple times now, the Storm versus Ember. Look at that, GPK.
I mean, look
5
at that.
and nice. Holy moly.
Ooh, he's still on fire from last game, GPK, just coming out of the first couple of waves. Top
Save.
lane. Save.
Forced to sleep to push away. But yeah, I mean, bottom is a double melee lane.
I don't think it's
Not
easy.
into just ET, but into Luna as well. Luna thrives versus these double melee heroes.
Yeah.
Side pulls available too. I think they're going to get a side pull off as well.
That's 3 range creeps, right?
I believe so. That is quite disastrous. I mean, DY is trying so hard to get the aggro back.
He's going to get at least one of them back over.
Should actually get them all over, so
All
a
right.
good job from DY to secure at least not losing 3 creeps of experience potentially for his Tide.
Crisis averted, only just there. That would have been rather nasty for Old 11 to miss out on that much this early on.
VP's lane's looking super high. Hey, mid is
Look at mid, what's going on
13-7
mid?
to 2-0. What the?
But that Vici, they've not got a mid. What's happening?
Ori's
2CS.
getting destroyed.
Oh dear.
I know it's a Storm-favored matchup, but not like this. 13-8 to 4-0. Like you said, GPK must still be on a bit of power from that last game.
Oh my goodness.
Even getting the range creep denied with the Vortex there too. I mean, he has...
Have we seen much of a beat down here, this TI in the mid lane on the first couple of minutes?
No. I mean, that is just insane. Of course it gets better as levels go on for the Ember Spirit, but it's never this bad. No.
That's... Well, if that's how he's starting this game, I mean, as you said, we saw what he did last time.
Yeah.
Last game.
He's even stacking his small cap as well. Like, he's being super big. He's going to send the high 5 toward Ori. GPK is absolutely feeling himself.
He doesn't go back for the high 5. He might miss that as well. Missing everything else in this mid lane so far. It's not easy for Ori.
And bottom, 72 on the Luna. Tidehunter, we are still seeing 11 get some really solid farm. This dump will connect. He should still be fine. But what a start for VP. Top, also getting the kill. Lane setup's working perfectly for VP.
This is wild. Bottom lane. Who will manage to take down Kingslayer here? Old 11 and DY. Now they've got the Ring of Health on Old 11. He's going to be feeling a little bit beefier.
Not slowing down the Luna, though. Luna's still free farming. TB is getting slowed down. And as we mentioned, they do have a lot of these heroes that are anti-carries, as we always like to call them. The Underlord and that ET into the Terrorblade, and also the Bane. Something with people we also have to factor in, which will be something that I think will be more noticeable than usual because it's a 4-position Bane. I want to say that Save is going to get points of Enfeeble, and you're going to notice it versus Terrorblade because it's a very strong ability that I feel like most people overlook. It's a 45% attack reduction, so later stages we'll see it because it's a 4-position, so he's going to definitely have more items and more ways to be able to actually play around that rather than just sleep and ults.
Yeah, if Ori's able to recover this game, you've got to remember the position he's in now. If he's able to pick it up from this is going to be quite the turnaround.
They're setting up for him.
First Remnant will be out of range. Might not matter though, he's able to dodge the second one with the Sleight of Fist, and Remnant And so the fire shield is up, so blocking a fair bit of aggression here for the two of them. DY will
DY?
TP over.
He might just die himself.
I think he might. Oh, you just able to get the bang.
He dodged the damage.
Bang. Okay, DY taking down GPK here with Ori. Can they get save as well? He'll die to a neutral, but still big move from DY. Ori needed that so badly in the mid lane. DY coming in clutch to help pick Ori's game back up.
He dodged the remnant damage too. It was very close to him perhaps going down, but gets that Jingu built up, dodges the damage, gets the boundless perfectly. Does leave Old 11 alone bottom to get chased up from the Luminant ET, but had to come in.
Absolutely.
Has to help Ori just because of how disastrous mid is going, but he might have to help everything because if you look at top also, Poyoyo is 21-4. It's 29-11 on the Underlord too. These lane setups, as we mentioned, top tier from VP already.
See mid. Regression again from GPK, but this time look how many heroes they have coming mid.
Double rotation.
They are done with GPK. They want him out of this lane. The boys coming in big time here to back up Ori. DY and PYW making sure they pick up their mid game.
But since 11's left bottom again, instant move by VP to capitalize on top of that. So it ends up coming up, I mean, pretty even all in all. Sure, they take out GPK, but it's something necessary and they will lose side lane because of it. Rune, though, is sitting secured, which is pretty big. Because of that kill, does allow the Ember to also get a regen rune.
We'll see where sort of the supports of VG Gaming look to put their attention now. Now they've taken down GPK the 2 times in the mid lane. That is, that's a significant sort of allowance for Ori to catch back up. That distance now between the two mids, it's pretty much non-existent. You see on the net worth, pretty much even.
Yeah.
So mid, it's been recovered. VG Gaming, they've sorted that area out. Now they've got to see how they can go back and compensate for sort of the time they were left away from these off lanes and leaving their cores on their own.
Absolutely.
DY back down here now to make sure that Old 11 is not under threat from the two of them again.
Yeah, it's cool that he's gone for the 2-0-2 build. We were in the beginning seeing everybody getting Tree Dance level 1, so you can secure range creep and all that, but because, like you mentioned, he was versus like that short-range Luna and also versus the ET, he just wanted to be able to trade these hits. So obviously you can understand his skill build there. Holding the creep wave for Old 11, and I mean, Old 11 really needs it. He's level 4 tied, so I think DY has to keep his attention down here for some time.
With this sort of lineup for VG Gaming, this Underlord, Luna, do you expect things to ramp up pretty quickly at a certain point?
Just because the Underlord's having a good game, such a good game, yeah, I can see them just looking to play around him to get those early towers out. But I don't think that Vinci's going to stray too far away from the fights. They're going to look to fight us for a lot this game. Terrorblade's going to be farming on the sides, and this Ember's going to have to be super active since Ori is fully recovered completely. And that's why they picked the Ember in this game, is so that he can be that super active hero, because he has to be versus both the Luna as well as that Storm once he starts getting points and chains. Because he is the catch for that Storm in the mid game. Should be a pretty action-packed one, Owen.
This game's going to blow wide open, you know it. Once the 6s start to come online.
Nightfall is camping the Remnant bottom, trying to make sure that he gets a rune, but Haste Rune will spawn top. Ori gets the secondary power rune of the game.
Have to be a little bit careful with that haste in his bottle. Definitely the potential to make some big hits on the side lanes if VP start to get aggressive close to the towers of Vici.
And he's got the max slight build with phase boots with the Blightstone, so he's going to hurt.
It really does.
No chains though, but the constant poke could still catch heroes out. Nice sleep, but gets woken up.
He's going to try and chase on a little bit, but as you say, without the control on himself, won't be able to set up onto GPK. GPK, a little short on the initial zip. Still going to play on the high ground here with the haste rune. Ori, he's looking to chase down the support. Looking for save, but DM lays down the pit. Ori, he'll stop to dig up a south. GPK's going to look to jump in back up to PYW. He's still got a fair bit of mana to play with GPK. He wants to try and chase down the Snapfire. Has he got enough in the tank to take down PYW? He does.
He does.
GPK gets the kill. Back over to the side, save. Momentarily holding Ori in position with the Nightmare. And they won't have anything back up to root him in position, so Ori breaks away.
Great play from Save there. Just the Nightmare coming into play. Maxing it first, of course, as we see. And they will fill up the bottle. So mid, GPK gets his bottle filled. Did not fill up Ori's. He will have a bounty rune to work with, but space built for both of these carries. We see Luna all the way up at the top. Poyoyo even popping meta just to farm jungle camps. Not even for an Ancient. It's just a single stacked hard camp, and he pops meta. Just has to try to catch up somehow.
Lovely stacks here for Ori. Get himself back on track for a good amount of
Kingslayer.
time in this game. They've got him in the river. Poyoyo stepping over the metal, will be held back by the stop. So Kingslayer can look to get his way out of this at all. GPK has managed to jump over the back. Let's get on top of Poyoyo. A cookie to the side, but there's no further help. Poyoyo to fall.
Not worth it for Poyoyo at all. Just wants to get a kill and get out, but GPK, again, just being this ruthless killer as we saw him in the last game too. Constantly making moves around the map.
Absolutely, he made Poyoyo's game last game too pretty miserable.
Yep.
He's going to be looking to do the exact same this time round, and already the signs of that beginning.
Don't think we'll see Poyoyo's face for quite some time anymore. I think he's just going to look to just hit the jungle for the next few moments, and he has to. He's already 900 behind the Luna. Luna, once you get it, if Luna gets an advantage at the beginning, then she's going to outfarm that Terror Blade. With a Mask of Madness already finished up, level 9, max glaives. It's only level 7 on Poyoyo. He doesn't have the mobility, he doesn't have the same levels at all to be able to get that farm going.
Trying to dive in and find DY here behind the tower. TP not going to be coming in.
Dire's top tower
He is being so aggressive on this Storm Spirit.
DY has to be very cautious if he shows, but sticking to the trees, he won't be jumping down anytime soon. This tower will have to be let slowly gone. On 11. Trying to see if we can find Save behind the tower here. Won't be the case. Save will not be receiving any backup here either by the looks of it. As Vici Gaming should be able to get the tier 1 tower trade.
Still hanging around for a moment, but yeah, this tower is definitely going to go down. Now starting to get some more points in the chains. We see Ori's got 1 point in it. He also finds his own fairy trinket, as we did see GPK having that. VP getting more farm out of the map, though. We even see DM walking into enemy jungle, just starts firestorming. He's very tanky, has the
GPK.
Vanguard finished up already, and GPK is just hunting.
I mean, he's tempted to dive. He's still sort of eyeing up this area, knowing that if DY comes anywhere away from the tower, he could go for it.
Just gonna cut the wave.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
DM he's tanking up big time, getting the rod next after the Vanguard, so they
I love
have that
that.
further setup against the Ember.
It's such a good game for it. He needs to be that answer. That's why they went for that last pick Underlord. He needs to be the answer versus that Ember Spirit, so I really like if he does commit for that build.
11 looking to
Jumping
step
for
over the
DM.
side. He has got the Ravage at the ready if he wants to pop it. DM, he's going to look to try and rift out
He's
of there.
tanky.
The damage for the kisses is not going to be enough. He is out and away.
That is fun too. The Dark Rift into Pig Pole, so you run a little bit faster away from them so they can't connect with all those kisses. Great play. Immediately back to the mid lane, and he's just going to stall this mid tower as long as possible so Vici can't push it.
Yeah. Straight back to hold and
Just allows Nightfall to have absolute free farm in the triangle.
yeah, straight for that BKB next after the Mask and the Dragon Lance, showing his willingness to get involved in fights as soon as possible.
I actually really do like that. Versus these, it's just become more and more valuable because all these Dragonlance heroes, you can just disassemble into the BKB and you're playing versus Tidehunter.
Get the quick catch on Kingslayer.
He's a little too fast. They're going to have to commit a Remnant.
There's no running here from Ori at this stage.
I've never heard that one before.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Level 12 on the Luna. Level 9 on Poyoyo. Struggling to catch back up. Does have his Yasha, so will have that increased farm pace, but just the levels from the Luna, as we said, he's going to accelerate that much further. And the pressure that VP is putting on the map is just a little bit more than Vici is. And they just can't push mid. I mean, DM is just tanky enough to just sit in mid, continuously firestorm. But on the other side too, VP's not pushing mid either. Still looking to set up for kills around the map. Save.
I mean, Nightfall momentarily showing himself up top, but indeed the attention seeming to be down bottom. Save. Going to put a stop to this old 11. Not quite able to get close enough to lean in. Save. He's going to go for the TP out, but they'll find him. Found this strike down through the trees. DY catches the bang.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And the Rune also spawns bottom for Ori. GPK getting quite unfortunate there with his luck. Just was waiting for top Rune, just, again, it spawns on the opposite side of him. And it's a very good one for Ori, of course. It's a regen rune when he's completely out of mana.
The rune of regeneration.
11 starting to feel pretty strong with his hood, 1600 HP, almost has Blink Dagger.
That's
I
close.
feel like this game's going to start exploding, and in action very soon as that blink does come out, and as soon as the Atos comes out on DM, it's just going to look to be more plays around the map.
It's just
right now, just a bit more farm since the Luna and TB want to hit that timing.
Yeah, so important that Nightfall has the BKB for when that jump Ravage comes in.
He's close. He's only 1,000 away if he disassembles.
I mean, the question is if Vici Gaming are going to be able to make a fight happen before it's there. If they could jump in with the Ravage, they come in with a full Remnant Burst, Kisses from a distance. Luna's life definitely still in jeopardy.
Absolutely.
Radiant
They're looking to get active. GPK smoked up around this rune as well, around nighttime. DY breaks it
is under attack.
and gets the bounty and jumps away. Nice move from DY.
Making that space and wasting their time here. Taking attention away from Poyoyo as much as he can.
Look at PYW, a little sneaky devil here. Gets the ward down from earlier, still hiding inside the tree lines. DM forcing bottom in.
Just a recipe away from the Atos.
Look at PYW though, cuts the creep wave from where DM is. And TP's toward the mid lane so he can keep himself on the map.
And Vici Gaming, they want to try and set up for this top tower, see if they force a response and get VP to fight into this Blink Ravage. It doesn't look like VP's going to fall for that. Nightfall staying on the opposite half of the map. Say just being incredibly cautious until he does have the BKB complete. Some TPs from VP starting to come in.
DM's here. The
Fiend's
Fiend's grip.
setup, the grip from the trees, they need help, but they need it now.
They used the Boundless for the wave.
He already did DY, he's got nothing else to throw out to help him.
Excellent positioning there from Save, but DY has to hold the Boundless for these situations. Huge pick. 20 seconds now where they can swing across the map. See what GPK looks to find with it. Walking behind towers.
Ooh, I mean, PYW was a bit low.
He's committing.
He's going to get aggressive on a DY. He's got to be careful, GPK. We'll back off to the side there. I think pretty important that Safe did get that Nightmare off. I think Odd 11 would have looked for a Blink Ravage if he could have. As GPK was pretty much entirely out of mana. So good hold back there from Safe.
Very aggressive from GPK when he has like pretty limited resources. Still looking to be active. And there's the Atos finished up. Nightfall has bought some time for himself too, that he's like, you know what, I'm not going to disassemble because no fight really kicked off, nothing was being forced. I can stall out the BKB a little bit longer. And he's going to have a really good fight timing with BKB and Dragonlance.
For sure.
Better than Poyoyo is, because Poyoyo, he's still shy of that BKB.
It's not too far though.
Not too far.
Might be able to push it until he can get that.
But Ori's game is going to be difficult. His Atos is finished, and he only has a Maelstrom. So if they just get the initiation onto this Ember Spirit in almost every fight, he's just going to die from the Chain Stun.
They're looking at DM top. I don't think they're killing this man. Just a simple rift out underneath them, and he's away. They cannot burst through the HP of this Underlord right now.
He has 2,200 HP. And now Kisses are down. She's a pretty big tool right now for Vici to take these team fights around the Ravage. That's one of their biggest damaging tools at the moment. So VP should be able to fight back. They don't have to wait for any of these big cooldowns is the thing for their lineup too. Just Atos, a root. If they see Ember Spirit, it's a kill. Next few moments, VP looking to claim a bit of a more aggressive stance. Walking into the enemy triangle. DM. Doesn't have backup, but you can see, of course, the pit into the Atos, how strong it can be versus the Ember.
Oh,
and behind.
They make the dive. GPK goes in straight away on a PYW, the Nightmare comes out, but the Ravage will come after catching GPK. This time, Odd 11 able to punish him for the dive. Grip
Ori.
onto the Ember Spirit. Ori, he needs help, but he's not going to get it. Nightfall pushing back the rest of Vici Gaming here as the Eclipse comes out. Vici Gaming have to step to the side. Poyoyo and DY now looking to turn up. The Boundless Strike goes crashing down on the two. The King set looking to turn with the stop. Holds back both of them, but he won't be able to stop Odd 11, or maybe with the help of DM they can. The pit it is enough. Odd 11 can't continue to chase. They lose the two of them, VP. They'll get the rest of them out of there.
Whose neutral item was that? Did they steal it? I think they did, right? There was a Pupil's Gift that dropped on the ground. I believe that VP stole it from Vici during that go. I see an Underlord with a Pupil's Gift that was nobody's. So I think they actually did steal the neutral item from them.
See again at the start of this fight, GPK really wanting to get a kill before everything happened. Very close to sort of making a cool dodge with the Nightmare, but the Ravage coming in after. No escape for GPK. I mean, with the way that the fight started, it did look a bit rough for VP, but able to redeem it a little bit by getting that trade on Ori.
As we mentioned though, Vici, a lot more cooldown reliant. Ravage is down, Meta's down, VP have to look to take advantage of that. Fiend Script was used, but they don't need that to be able to set up for any of these kills, so definitely want to look to see them hit hard right now with those being on cooldown.
And here we go, smoke time from VP.
Definitely want to still try to claim that mid tower. 200 HP, gonna open up the map for them.
Save.
They're gonna walk right into PYW.
GPK, he's been here before, he'll go here again. Behind the tier 1, spots PYW, Snapfire. No hesitancy at all.
I kind of want to see VP keep going. Ravage is on cooldown, Meta's on cooldown. You know how weak this Ember Spirit is at the moment. Keep looking for kills.
Yeah.
You got a big window right now.
You catch Ori in a pit and a rod, he will die. The Eclipse is back up in less than 20 seconds.
Poyoyo, very likely that you won't get the kill on him because he has the BKB done now, but they have time to be able to go in the Roche with a beautiful DD outside the pit.
Did get
very
scanned out.
ideal timing. Gets scanned, but it's with the fresh picked up Crystallis, it's dying fast.
And BKB's ready to go ahead for Nightfall. So maybe they can look for a steal, but if they do so, they're going to lose lives for it.
10 on Ravage. It's going to die before Ravage is up.
They're a little careful. VP, they're backing off a little bit. Nightfall will continue to go. The kisses are coming in, but Nightfall's got the kill. He's got the Aegis. Over to the side, GPK looking to start things on to 11. They're going to be Nightmare. They've got the grip. They've got the grip. They managed to hold in place this Terrorblade player. Now the back off. The Ravage comes out, but Old 11 just getting destroyed by the damage of GPK. Nightfall. As Old 11 actually able to make it away. Only just a slither of HP. Old 11 actually somehow manages to get out of there. But DY goes down, and VP, they got what they were going for. Roshan killed, Aegis on Nightfall.
It's a huge fight. Ravage was used as well, so now they have a 2-minute window where, again, they can look to continue to make plays with this Aegis. Sure, meta's up, so they just have to watch out for when Poyoyo shows up in the fight, but this is a big window right now for VP to get a lot of space on the map, a lot done, and Nightfall's already got the pretty much two of the bigger items that you ideally want versus this Terrorblade. He's got his shard done, and he's got the small crit. So now he can start using the beams from a distance, spamming them to hit that Terrorblade in the back lines, and then he's gonna go for that next big item, which is the biggest one, of course, for TB, which is that Eye of Scotty on Luna. It says less than 1K, but it's starting to feel like a pretty comfortable position for VP. They will lose save, though.
They're not stand a chance there. Immediately Poyoyo popping the meta. Maybe expecting a little bit more than just the Bane to turn up, but it was just save. The rest of Vici game, they've got a couple of them smoked to see if they can take advantage of VP whilst they're a little separate from one another. DM, the only one down here right now. They want to try and dive in onto him. It could be a bit of a tricky kill. They're going to try it. See if they've got the damage here underneath the tier 2. Looking for DM. He's going to try for the rift down, but they have enough damage. Wow. Now Nightfall, he's trying to turn up. Can he kill him here? He'll look for the Monkey King, but now with the Sunder, Nightfall's HP bought incredibly low. They'll burst him the once.
And his BKB's down.
Oh, he's going to need help.
They got cookies.
I don't know if he's going to be able to get a GPK since one. Trying to bail out. It's Luna here. Turns the roof down right. They've taken out Poyoyo. The ground back on a P1W, but they've lost Nightfall. GPK still with man in the play room as he goes over towards or he zips over towards P1W. P1W cannot escape this as he gets brain sapped out of the game. Old 11 blinking back in the Madman to kill off Kingslayer. He's tanking. He knows GPK's low on mana, but Crit is back up. The Bane with the brain sap. Nice. They've still got 1k HP here.
Still should be able to do it. They even have they have a Fiend Script. They don't want to use it.
No,
they have a Brain Sap. They should be able to get it.
He's got Hood back up in 10 seconds.
Let's see.
Old 11's tanky.
They're going to use it. Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, he's just going to go for it. And they got him. Made them work for it a bit there, but...
Sure, but all in all, I mean, that's quite a lot of... No, they do manage to dive in. They get Nightfall. They're able to get DM, of course, as well before he rifts out, but losing a fair few heroes off the back of that dive.
I think DM also played it, I think he should, if he had rifted earlier, he also didn't use Essence Ring, is another thing pointing out. He used his spells first instead of using the Rift first. Perhaps he rifts, then drops the pit, then drops everything else. Maybe he has a little bit more of a window because of that Crimson block, but either way, I don't think VP's too fussed about that one. Sure, they lose the Luna, but GPK starts to get some big cleanup kills for himself.
Did we see here? GPK, just a fantastic fight. The BKB was only just picked up right before that fight, so...
Yeah.
not turning up at a perfect time. And that decision as well, Poyoyo, he was able to potentially have TP'd out, but deciding to cancel it, to stick around with the team, cost him his lives and some of the others around him there. They did have the opportunity to back out of that after that initial dive, but they decided to stick around, and it did hurt them, Vici.
Every single one of those deaths will add up too. He's 2,500 gold behind the Luna, so this timing of the Ayascati is gonna be there a little bit faster there for Nightfall. Ori does have a BKB of his own now, so doesn't have to worry so much about that pit. Most of the disable actually is gonna be handled because of that besides the Fiend's Grip. Still very close game, but definitely feeling that power for Nightfall. Just being that much farmed, that much more farmed than the TV. Almost level 20 as well on him. And yeah, Scotty timing on both of these cores is going to be massive.
Oh, GPK is going to look for the jump in straight away.
Oh, the
grab
damage.
onto Ori. Ori's gone. Immediate reaction there for GPK, zipping straight over. As soon as they fall for the main, they've got the grab.
What a grab! Look at the distance.
This feed script from a mile off.
It's really, in that area, in these type of small little clusters too, versus ET, where he's got the Spirit down, he gets the Splitter pretty much down on everybody too. They're able to just fully clean up as well with the clips. That is a big fight for VP. Right after the Luna's already ahead by 2.5k, getting cleanup kills. Now he's gonna be he's gonna be a full item ahead now actually. He's gonna go for Butterfly instead of going for that Scotty. So he's just going to be more survivable versus just the Terrorblade, which I think he's starting to notice. I think only TB is going to be my issue in this game.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And what can Poyoyo do? Things falling apart a little bit around him.
Sure is. Ori just keeps getting destroyed.
He's had a tough game. It's not been a fun one for Ori. Straight from the laning stage, fully focusing him. GPK.
He didn't even get his BKB off in the last fight. He just got incinerated from all the damage. Save. He's a bit tanky on this
Bane. Got a bit of backup. I'm going to get him away from the slight combo from Ori. He's fine. He'll live for now, and there it is. Butterfly done on Nightfall.
That's a timing.
Straight up with the smoke. They're ready to go with the move straight into the
jumping
Hydra.
right in.
GPK just leads in. He's ready to go. Straight on a PYW. The setup route is caught. The other Ori has to put the BKB in back off.
Ooh. Great play from DM there from the low ground.
They're going to look towards DM now again. GPK puts the BKB. He's on the DY.
They're on Ori.
Grab back into the grab. Ori's just gone DY as well.
Poyoyo.
Poyoyo, he's only got Old 11 by his side. Old 11 does have a Ravage available. He's doing a pit for now. The grip, even using the Ravage, comes out of the 5 of them. But do they have the damage to turn this around? Old 11's trying to go for save with the stick of the brace strap. Keeps him alive. Save, still going DY. They've got the tree. GPK steps over, finds DY hiding in the trees. Everybody dead on VG Gaming.
A beautiful, picture perfect, right, really, fight from VP. My goodness, from the start of it to the end, catching Ori in the beginning, forcing his BKB, then he can't really do much inside of the fight, and then the patience from the Bane, holding that Fiend's Grip, waiting for the BKB from Poyoyo as soon as he turns up. This Luna is a menace now, too. Look at this farm.
Look at, GPK, he's doing it again.
Time.
He's doing it again this game. We saw it last game in sort of his play style. This one, once again, just absolutely fearless, diving in, starting the action off, and in these little moments where it looks like maybe some of Vici Gaming's cores are going to get to play the game, they just don't. The grab on the Ember without the BKB, there's no chance for Ori. And at this point, it's just too late for any sort of turnaround. Old 11 is able to hit the majority of them with the Ravage, but it doesn't matter at this stage.
It's just so good for VP when they're able to start the fights like that, because then they just preemptively pop the BKBs, they focus fire targets, and Old 11's just watching from the sidelines like, I have no option, guys. I cannot go to try to go for a Ravage here. VP coming out way ahead now, picking up a Bloodstone right before the fight too for the Storm, up to 19 charges, level 21, level 23 on the Luna. And like we said, he was 2,500 gold ahead just a few moments ago. Now he's 7,000 gold ahead of the Terrorblade. Things have spiraled completely out of control for Vici.
Dire's top tower is under
They've got a Scotty timing now on Poyoyo, but he can't even hit the Luna. There's a Butterfly they're always getting initiated onto, and on top of a Butterfly, there's going to be a Satanic done in a second.
Oh my goodness, level 23, yeah. This is... Old 11.
And the satanic timing also with these Lunas, when you have this shard build, it's so hard to kill them. Because then they're attacking, they pop a beam. It's like all this healing that comes in from the beam as well as their attack.
Levy's just dead outside the base.
Every time.
Oh! I mean, yeah,
Yes,
GPK's going for that. He's not letting him step back up from this. Godlike on the Storm here.
You can tell he's pretty mad about that first game with his Razor. Having a very clean series since then.
I mean, it's quite a difference in the hero you are. I feel sometimes you see these sort of players like GPK, you put them on something like a Razor, it feels like you're limiting their potential. You get them on these mobile heroes, the Pucks, the Storm Spirits, and they are just completely owning the game.
He's just super confident, right? The way he's starting the fights over and over and over again. I feel like Vici hasn't had a situation where they've started the fight ever in this game. Into Roche they go.
Yep. This will be a freebie for them.
Yep.
Vici Gaming not making it out of the base, especially whilst Old 11's down.
And they've already got the covers as well, as we always talk about. The panel was saying the TB versus the Luna. DM, I love his item build. Crimson Guard into Atos, into Lotus Orb, so he can Lotus Orb Nightfall to protect him from reflection and versus any type of Sunder plays. And Vici, this feels like it might be like a last-ditch effort for them.
Oh.
The jump.
Oh, he got the shard.
He gets the shard. Okay.
All right, he got something. He got something. There's a shard.
Better than nothing. Did he get the last hit too? Nah, it was close though. Next few fights though feel like they're gonna be some 4D chest that has to come out from Vici in order to have any chance.
I am 98%.
Yeah. They don't have the MKB even on the Terrorblade, so he cannot ever stand toe-to-toe.
Oh, Ravage will put a stop to that Fiend Script.
But he's still alive. The Bane is fine.
I mean, Ori's going to at least live. He's able to get out of there. You see GPK go straight for the backlines on top of PYW. Beam comes in with the sidelines and Nightfall lays down the Lucid Beam. Old 11 trying to run down Save, but Save's
He's still alive.
He can't even kill the Bane. And Save just walks away. VP in with the backup. Another trade here where VP just getting the kills. Vici Gaming not able to find anything in return. The money for the Axe done here for Save.
The 4 position Bane is working. Nice ball.
He's going to try to start the defense, but DY.
It's too much heals.
It's too much damage. As DY's gone, jump forward for GPK. Poyo will turn with the BKB and the Meta trying to hold. They're looking to beat into GPK. GPK is slow on the Meta, silent start. See if they can get any of the kills here. Nightfall looking towards Old 11. Sunder gets it back up to full HP. Poyo, a slide comes in onto Nightfall.
They're on Poyo.
Still alive. He's looking back over on Poyo. Poyo to fall. Out of the game. No buyback on the Terrorblade. They'll lose Nightfall the once, but he's ready to come back with that Aegis. 3 dead on Vici Gaming. No buybacks to be had. The big one there being Poyo, short of the money. As this reacts, it's all VPs. Tier 2s on all the other lanes already dealt with. They could very easily look for more here, VP.
They have so much time. Ravage was used earlier before that fight even kicked off. TB Meta was used. This game is in the books, it feels like now for VP. Fiend's Grip back up. We get to maybe witness an Axe Fiend's Grip for the first time on TI.
Some fantastic control so far from Save. So many of these fights where they've tried to go on him, but nightmares, brain stabs, Fiend's Grips, and just not anything rapid. He's gone in deep. He has put himself back with the Lotus into the change. PYW, he'll still die though. The grip is there onto Ori. Save having the reach to take him down. So buyback comes out from PYW, starts to rain down the kisses to back VP off, but VP they'll more than happily swing up to the top lane. Look to finish up that final set of racks. Get these mega creeps out. There's 50 seconds, no Ori.
And Vici has to just watch. They don't even have meta. So there's literally nothing they can do to defend this. It's just gonna have to be them, fighting versus mega creeps. And
they're gonna try.
They most definitely cannot do so, but they're gonna try to make a play.
They've got the Ravage. What can they do here? Jump forward, they get the Ravage, they're gonna look to try and blow up Nightfall. Everybody on top of the Luna. Can they kill him? Sometimes brought in with a Nightmare, allows him to put the BKB. He's turning, he's ready to heal back up. Brings down DY. GG is called. Virtus Pro will take this game 3. The series ends theirs as they'll knock down Vici Gaming.
What a performance by the cores on VP in these last 2 games. The itemization on point. I love DM in this game. Going for his Crimson Guard, going for his Atos, going for Lotus Orb. Picture perfect stuff. GPK initiating every single fight. I actually do not remember. I think I remember one fight where Vici was the ones initiating a fight. VP, a masterclass this time around of how to counteract the Tidehunter with those BKB timings.
Absolutely, and it's this sort of performance that we know that Virtus.pro, they can do time and time again online. You hear about, you see the power of this team in those online situations. Now, here on the main stage, TI, they've come out game 2, game 3, and they've shown us some pretty terrifying Dota 2 both times. I mean, this game very much more of a team effort, just across the board.
For sure.
Everybody popping off. Very hard to really point someone out again, but you maybe do just have to say GPK once more. These playmaking heroes, he just single-handedly destroyed Vici Gaming. It felt at the start of every fight, GPK's target prioritization, it was just perfect. He could not have
100%.
played any of these fights any better than he did here.
100% agreed. Top tier performance from him and his team.
Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Virtus.pro with a very, very impressive couple of games to close that series up. They'll take this one 2-1 against Vici Gaming.
Well, there we go. Virtus.pro's coach's reaction as they win that game. And what an exciting series. What an exciting game specifically that was.